Phil. Like we said it, we identified Jake Ferguson, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Javonte Williams. They're not going to shut them all down. Can you shut a couple of them down and keep another in check and find a way to win a game?
So it seems like before you guys go, and I didn't get to hear a lot of the show. I usually tune in a bunch. I was busy today, man.
I know you'll find our podcast. It's all good.
I definitely will.
DenverSports.com.
I definitely will. I'm usually doing chores. My wife puts me to work, and I would listen to you guys as I do chores.
Oh, look at Phil. I had to be an adult.
Why are you guys feeling like the defense is going to give up so many points in this game? Like, are we not believing in them? 34 sacks, tied for first.
You have like a dam, right? You think of this like some sort of a wall to breach, right? Yeah. And there's a wave after wave. You're not going to stop every wave. You have CeeDee, you have George Pickens, who I feel is the number one receiver. You have Jake Ferguson having a historic start to the season as a tight end, and Javonte's the second leading rusher in football, and Dak will sling it. So when you have wave after wave, you can tell me, hey, the Broncos are going to stop Javonte this week. Okay, maybe, but what are they going to do about CeeDee, Jake, George? They're not stopping everybody.
What would you rather him do, stop the run or stop the pass? Let's start with that, because I know I'm with you. Like, there's so many weapons out there. You're not going to be able to stop them all.
Do you lull them into your world by allowing Javonte to run the ball? Because running the ball takes more time. And so instead of a 3-play drive, and man, CeeDee Lamb just had that 80-yarder on Pat Surtain. Instead of a 3-play drive, it's like a 9-play drive. Okay, they get a field goal. Broncos are bend but don't break, right? So honestly, the answer, in my opinion, is Javonte can have a day. Make sure Jake doesn't get you, CeeDee doesn't get you, and George doesn't get you.
Well, and I would also ask you this, too, to bounce back, Phil, of like, when you say you slow down the run game, Javonte's actually only had 2 100-yard rushing games. Now they've come in the last 3 weeks, so he's figuring some stuff out. But it is, what does that mean? Like Javonte goes for 120, or is a good game like 90 yards for Javonte? Because I think that's the case. If you keep him between like 75 and 85, I think that's a good job by the Broncos.
It's how it looks
defense.
and how it feels. Like, to me, it's like if Javonte
27 carries.
If Javonte has 75 yards and majority of those carries keep the chains moving, then that's an issue. Mm-hmm. If it's 2nd and 5 after the first run and then Javonte gets the next run and it's a first down, that's an issue. So if Javonte goes for 75 yards and let's say 24 carries, 75 yards, it's going to be tough to beat them. You're going to have to figure a way to kind of slow Javonte Williams down, which is crazy to say. We're talking about Javonte Williams.
Yeah, right.
But also, when you're doing that, it's like you're going to probably have to load the box at the beginning. You're probably going to have to bring somebody in the box, whether it's a safety or a nickel, to stop the run. So now
you have one-on-ones?
Exactly. But that's VJ. That's VJ for you. That's
scary,
that's usually his defense, where it's like we're going to bring pressure, and we're gonna let the cornerbacks be one-on-one with Pickens and Lamb, which is like, do you really want to do that? So that's why I asked that. To me personally, I'm going to stop the run. I'm going to force them to be one-dimensional. I'm going to force Dak to either pick us apart, or he's going to be very uneasy in this pocket because we supposedly have some of the elitist pass rushers off the edge. Well, now it's time. We're fixing to find out if this is true or not. And if that's the case, then you're not going to have Dak setting up where CeeDee's going to have these double moves for 80-yard bombs.
Yes, Cecil, I think your analogy about the dam holding back the water is accurate. And to add it even further, I think once you see those situations where the dam starts to crack a little bit and water starts to seep through, eventually that crack widens and widens and widens before it eventually bursts. And you have a situation with the Broncos defense where they found themselves in a 2-touchdown hole in the fourth quarter against the Eagles. They found themselves in a 3-score hole in the fourth quarter against the Cowboys. And those are offenses that are not on par with what we're about to see with the Dallas Cowboys as a rushing offense or a passing offense. So this might be a situation where water's been trickling a little bit, to Debbie Downer-Drew's point, in this Broncos defensive dam. And this presents an opportunity, at least, if they don't manage it, for the Cowboys defense to just blow that hole wide open. Yeah. And I think the key to doing that, if I'm Dallas, actually is the run game. I know they have CeeDee and Jake Ferguson and George Pickens, who's basically a wide receiver 1 as the second wide receiver on this team. But if Javonte Williams and the running attack can wear down a Broncos defense on sustained drives to go in complementary fashion with a Broncos offense that loves to go 3 and out more often than I would prefer, and give the defense less time to rest, I think that's going to open up opportunities for CeeDee to go over the top or George Pickens to beat Riley Moss. And I just think that that's kind of like the icing on the cake that'll push it forward.
You guys both brought up dams. You want to hear my only dad joke?
What's going on?
Only one I got. I'm not even a dad, but I got this one on lock. What did the fish say when he ran into a wall? Oh, damn. Have a great weekend, boys.
On a walk-off moment.
No, you know what?
to-
You know what, Richie? I love what you brought up right there where you said, like, the dam is leaking a little bit.
Yeah.
But the reason why I feel like the dam is leaking a little bit is because of this offense. Going 3 and out, like you just got done talking about. If the offense can sustain drives, keep the defense off the field for a little while, let them rest, let them get to their game plan, they'll be a lot better off as a defense knowing that they have a little bit more rest, knowing that they can count and rely on their offense to sustain drives. And it doesn't have to just be touchdowns. Maybe it's field goals, but giving them some type of points so that your defense is like, okay, we have something to fight for. Like, not, oh, it's 3 and out again, guys. Don't even sit down. Don't even sit down out there because you're gonna be your ass is gonna be right back out there tackling Javonte Williams. So I'm with you on that. With the dam, kind of it's leaking. But the offense can help out the defense by sustaining drives, and therefore this dam won't break.
It can.
Talk about dams.
It's going to have to because, you heard Jonathan Cooper after the game against the Giants talk about how thankful he was for the Broncos offense. They carried him, especially there in the fourth quarter. But it really wasn't the offense carrying the load for 3 quarters and change of that game. The defense was just doing its best to hang on for dear life and not have it balloon to a 20-plus deficit going into the final frame. This game against the Cowboys, the offense is going to have to carry the water and at least go shot for shot to hold their own, basically from the jump. Because with the Dallas Cowboys offense and what it presents from an explosive big play potential, this isn't the New York Giants with a rookie quarterback making his first handful of starts, and Cam Scatterbo, who's like a battering ram between the tackles, but isn't necessarily a streaking down the field speed threat to stretch a defense. This Cowboys offense is loaded with exactly that. They've got guys with speed. They've got good route runners. They've got a tight end in Jake Ferguson, who's sneakily one of the best tight ends in football this season through 7 weeks, and that's already a position that compounds in a painful way for the Broncos. The offense in Bo Nix and Sean Payton have to go punch for punch to start this game, or it could get ugly fast.
Woo-wee. I can't wait to discuss this in deeper, man.
Can't wait. We will have plenty to get into as it relates to Broncos-Cowboys on this Football Friday, but coming up next, we have to recap the historic, unbelievable, may never see it again performance from our guy Aaron Gordon, and we will do that coming up next.
Will Sean Payton mix more tempo into his offense? Can Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper slow down Dak Prescott? We'll react to it all in the Fan Football Postgame Show, live on game day starting at the 2-minute warning. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
All right, gentlemen, listen up here. Open up those ears. ED, erectile dysfunction, is an intimacy destroyer. And a lot of you guys out there already know that. And research shows that men can draw away from their partners when ED affects their sex life. The conditions can cause stress, anxiety, depression, and even worse. A man's partner can even blame themselves when ED becomes the problem. Well, I'm here to tell you that Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic treatments work when the pills and herbals fail you. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. And some of these treatments can have you last an hour or even more if you want to go that long. So schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today. Your initial visit is only $99, which will include a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, AT, and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And here's the kicker, gentlemen. If the test dose does not work in the office, the visit is free. They have 5 locations in Colorado to serve you as well, so there are no excuses. You could go to Fort Collins, North Denver, Central Denver, Castle Rock, and Colorado Springs. So give them a call today at 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Whatever you're looking for when you head out into the wild, keep an open mind. Sometimes the real treasure is the journey itself. Sure enough, there's treasure out there. Sometimes it's something you didn't expect to find. And more often than not, it's as simple as the memories you make. Make some memories of your own with a new vehicle from Corwin Toyota. Family driven for over 100 years.
You could save thousands of dollars on the products your business uses the most with the Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred Pricing. Registering is free and easy. Just have your tax ID or business or contractor's license ready. But don't wait. The current preferred pricing benefit will end on November 15th. Visit your local Pro Desk to register now and unlock the deepest savings on the products you choose.
Thinking about buying a home in Colorado? You're not the only one, and now might be your best shot. We're officially in a buyer's market, which means you've got the upper hand. More homes are on the market, competition is down, and serious deals are out there just waiting to be found. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to upgrade or downsize, now's the time to get pre-approved. And American Financing can make that happen in 24 hours or less. And here's the kicker. When you work with both American Financing and their partner American Home Agents, you can receive a credit on closing costs of up to 1% or a max of $10,000 on your home loan. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, it's time to step in, and American Financing is the place to start. Don't let the 20% down myth stop you. You could buy a home with as little as 3% down, and with down payment assistance programs available, getting into a home might be easier than you think. Pick up the phone, call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by TradeGen Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors.
Tune into Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos.
Off and rolling. On a football Friday, a Bud Light football Friday, Phillip Lindsay, ahead of a pretty significant matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys, which we will get into at length over the course of the next 3 hours and 44 minutes.
Yeah. What's up, Zach? Richie.
Oh.
What's up?
Do I look taller? Is that why you said that?
No. I'm like, where's Zach at? He just said, screw Phil, huh?
I guess. He says that privately a lot. Does he say it publicly?
Oh, he just puts it out there now.
Yeah.
He just tells me, hey, Phil, look. I don't really like you today. Yeah. So I'm going to take off. I'm like, all right, cool. Bring me Richie then.
Hey, ask and you shall receive, Phil. Boy, we had a doubleheader of Denver sports action last night with the Denver Nuggets at the Chase Center against the Golden State Warriors and the Colorado Avalanche in a throwback uniform matchup for the ages with the Carolina Hurricanes, formerly the Hartford Whalers. Both of them ended, I think, in disappointing fashion, Phil. But our guy, Aaron Gordon, AG, Mr. freaking Nugget.
The man.
Put in a performance of the ages. On a night where the Joker tied Oscar Robertson with an NBA most 4 season opening triple-doubles in his career, he somehow was not the star of the show. Because AG turned in a 50-burger with 8 boards and 2 assists. It was the 16th 50-point game by a Denver Nugget and the most points in a season opener in team history.
See, Richie, the 50 points is amazing. And, of course, it's historic. It's like, man, who would have thought AG, who hasn't been an all-star yet, AG comes out firing on the first game. But the thing that I'm so impressed and at awe with as of right now, because it's something that AG is going to continue to do because he's getting better with the three-point shot. was that he went 10 of 11 from the three-point line.
Unbelievable.
Are you kidding me?
He's shooting 91% from deep to start the season.
Guys,
I know it's only one game, but that number exists.
No, look, we're not talking about Cam Johnson, who we just acquired, that's supposed to be our three-point shooter.
Oh,
we're
we'll get
not
into him.
talking about Jokic, the greatest player to play this game right now. We're not talking about Jamal Murray, who has to be the second best player on this team if we're going to win a championship. We're talking about Aaron Gordon, who's Mr. Three-Point Shot Man. We're talking about AG, who kept us in the game, brought us back, was doing everything he could offensively and defensively to make sure we won that game. And I'm sorry that we didn't win the game for you, AG. We just needed a couple more people to turn it on, a couple baskets to go our way. But Aaron Gordon, 50 points. Are you kidding me?
17 of 21 from the field. You mentioned 10 of 11 from beyond the arc and a perfect 6 for 6 from the charity stripe. His 105.8 true shooting percentage made it the most efficient 50-point game in the history of the National Basketball Association. And his 10 three-pointers was tied for second most ever by a Nugget, second only to J.R. Smith with 11.
That's crazy.
Phil, the metamorphosis, the transformation that Aaron Gordon has undergone by his own doing in the last 2 or 3 seasons is going to be studied by scientists one day. The fact that AG, who at the early portion of his career with the Orlando Magic had a game that was predicated entirely off of unbelievable athleticism. He lived above the rim. He was the dunk contest regular participant. He comes to Denver, completely accepts an opposite career-defining role as a hard hat and lunch pail, defensive-minded fourth option
Richie, and
on a team.
I don't think people understand how hard that is to be able to accept something like that and say, hey, I'm not the best player on this team anymore.
Yeah.
And I know that I have to change my game up and I have to accept whatever is given to me. But Aaron Gordon has done a phenomenal job of just starring in his role. I like to say a lot for football, but starring in his role, and he's taken it, ran with it, and he's doing a phenomenal job because of that.
He thrived as an athletic, explosive number one option on a bad team in his early and mid-20s. He comes to Denver in what I think is the greatest single trade in Nuggets franchise history, and in his late 20s, on the back half of that decade of his life, transforms into a defensive-minded, old-school, gritty, fourth option on a championship team that helps a franchise win its first Larry O'Brien trophy. And then now, as he enters his 30s, in the first game of this 2025 season, has maybe the single best game of his entire career. It was a career high in scoring, definitely a career high in made three-pointers. And a performance we may never see again, but in doing so, showing yet again how versatile he is to then over the last couple of seasons when he decided to make his home base a warehouse turned into an essential basketball fortress.
See, there you go right there.
And work on his game specifically as a shooter every day, having some of the biggest jumps in shooting percentage from close to mid-range to 3 points in NBA history, certainly in recent NBA history, and it culminates with a 50-burger on the season opener.
But, Richie, it's all about working on your craft every moment, every second that you can do that. AG has the luxury to do that because he's in a warehouse, a basketball warehouse where he can wake up in the morning, not brush his teeth because Zach Byer, for some reason, doesn't want to brush his teeth right away. He takes a piss, then he might put in a bed or two, and then he'll brush his teeth. My guess is AG does the exact same thing. He wakes up, maybe gets some water, probably doesn't brush his teeth just yet, goes down there and shoots 100 shots, then gets ready for his day. Like it's showing off that hard work that Aaron Gordon has put in is showing off. And my man had 50 points. He was 10 of 11 from the three-point line. Are you kidding me? But yet, Richie, we lose in overtime. We can't get the dub. We can't figure out a way to sustain and maintain the lead. That's an issue. And this is where it's like for David Adelman, it's like you have to be able to understand and know when you have to take people out or maybe call a timeout. But man, this is going to be a fun season. I was disappointed on the outcome, staying up late, watching that overtime and watching Steph Curry's old ass still put some work in there.
He's unbelievable.
And had 42 points.
Phil, he's 37 years old?
37 years old.
And I got to be honest, obviously he's one of the best pure shooters in the history of the NBA. He will go down as such, and he has a highlight reel of singular game-winning or game-defining shots that would take about as long as this program is to get through in its entirety. But I actually was amazed at times watching Steph Curry kind of take over late in that game. I believe he scored 17 points from like the 240,
16, something like that.
16 or 17 points from like the 3-minute mark essentially of regulation through overtime. And during that stretch, he outscored the entire Denver Nuggets team combined as a whole. And so he clearly still possesses that ability to just take over a basketball game. But the speed and the quickness with which he was able to move with and without the ball, especially getting to the cup, I thought was impressive, and I thought it was something that the Nuggets, especially in those late closing minutes, just weren't prepared to defend.
Well, it just shows you that the Nuggets, they're still raw. This unit, when you have Cam Johnson, now the other four, you got CB, Jokic, Jamal, and AG, they've been together. They know what's going on. But for Cam Johnson, it's going to take time for this unit to get together and kind of start to gel. And that's even defensively, not just offensively and scoring the points, but defensively being on the same page, communicating, understanding who needs to pick up who at the right times when there's a pick and roll. And that's something that during that game, you left Steph Curry open a couple times and Jimmy buckets. And this is where for the Warriors, they have that chemistry because Jimmy Buckets was part of the team at late last year, and now they're kind of getting into themselves and into their all and understand what they have to do in crunch time situations.
Yep, you saw Al Horford, one of the newest members of that Warriors squad, hit a clutch three on the right side. And then Jimmy Butler, who actually in that portions of that overtime period, the early portions, I felt like he was being kind of deferential with the ball. He had reasonably open NBA looks to take a shot, and he didn't, and some of those converted into baskets, some of them did not, but he obviously hits a dagger there in the overtime period to kind of push it just out of the Nuggets' reach. And frankly, the way that Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic in that two-man game that I think David Adelman was clearly reliant upon in those late periods, we might discuss later whether or not that was the right move in that moment, but Jokic missing that shot at the end of regulation that could have ended it instead of going to overtime, a shot that I would think 7 or 8 times out of 10 just falls right down the middle for him because he's just perfected that like long overarching floater, and it just doesn't. And Steph Curry is, as a Hall of Famer, one of the best players in the league, makes you pay for it.
Yeah, and the thing even for Jokic is he has to get into a rhythm, get into a groove. One thing I will critique about Jokic watching the game, and I get scared to critique Jokic because he is the greatest player to play the game. But throughout that overtime.
Horrible from the three-point line.
You know, but it wasn't even just that. It was that at the end there where they're down and Jokic takes that three. It doesn't go in. His body language is bad. He doesn't get back down to stop the play. You have Steph Curry that takes it coast to coast for a bucket. I mean, it's like things like that where it's like, yeah, it didn't go your way, Jokic. You didn't shoot well from the three-point line. It's okay, but get back. You're the leader of this team. We go as you go, and the body language was bad, and you end up losing, and it didn't look good there at the end.
Well, kind of overshadowed by the historic nature of Aaron Gordon's night, there was one new face in Denver that struggled, I think, a lot more than many here in town would have hoped for. Is it a sign of things to come or something that'll brush off in the near future? That's where we'll go next.
The Broncos will look to add a little more mile-high magic against Dallas. Kick your football Sunday off in style with Denver Game Day, powered by Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Live on Game Day starting at 10 a.m. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here with the one and only Williams Jewelers. Hope everybody's having a great day. And if you're looking for fine jewelry or a great timepiece, just like I was, then why not shop where some of the world's leading designers are sold? Williams Jewelers helped me find my new Tudor watch, and they can do the exact same thing for you. And if you're not looking for a watch, no big deal. Any type of jewelry you want, they're going to have, guaranteed. And they're going to treat you just like family the minute you step through those doors, and they won't pressure you at all. They gave me the time I needed to make the right decision for myself, and looking at this beautiful watch on my wrist today, I made a great decision because of it. And starting from one little store in Inglewood, Williams Jewelers has fought their way to the top and now has grown into 2 locations and has become one of the largest fine jewelers in the country. So when you step foot into their showroom, like I said earlier, you're going to feel just like family, and their service reflects that. They are dedicated and they work hard to make sure you're satisfied with your purchase. And not only are they going to share the secrets of the business with you, they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers? My hometown jeweler, also the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Tree Creek North on 3rd Avenue and also on Broadway in Bellevue. And don't forget to let them know that Phillip Lindsay sent you.
Samantha Flanagan here for Flanagan Law. Navigating personal injury claims on your own can feel like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. Don't let things fall apart. Protect your rights. Look for the Shamrock. Go with Flanagan Law. Online at flanagan.law.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Colorado can count on.
Your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here. Fall has arrived, which makes now the perfect time to call your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks, at 303-425-0985. Ductworks complete ventilation cleaning packages, scrapes and vacuums every inch of your system, removing dirt, dust, and debris other companies leave behind. Here's why that matters. Your heating system kicks on in the fall. Dirty ducts can reduce efficiency, raise your energy bills, push dust into your home's air. A professional cleaning now helps your furnace run better, last longer, and keep your family breathing cleaner air. Don't wait until the first cold snap when everyone else is scrambling. Get ahead of the rush. Call Ductworks today at 303-425-0985 or visit ductworks.com for your free residential and commercial estimate. Your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks.
303-425-0985. More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're over 50, it's likely you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
For many of us, it's happened before. Your hair is thinning, crowns disappearing. Maybe the hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. The solution that worked for me, it's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day. And it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what if you want your own natural hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to world-class Dr. Tanya Paul's, it's not maybe your hair will regrow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Denver fans, game day starts at Twin Peaks. Your hometown football HQ is giving away exclusive team jerseys every game day. Catch every Denver matchup, cheer loud, and you could score big. Just ask your Twin Peaks girl for the play-by-play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Denver Sports Snapshot
on 104.3 HD3. TU hockey skates with Boston College with pregame starting at 4:30 tomorrow on The Fan. Home of the Colorado State Rams. CSU football faces Wyoming with pregame starting at 4:30. Presented by Rock's Heating and Air. And on 104.3 HD3, TU hockey skates with Northeastern with pregame starting at 4:30.
Open an account in less than 5 minutes. Visit WesteraCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
One of the newest faces for the Denver Nuggets made their season debut last night against the Golden State Warriors, and it did not go the way many of us had hoped. Cam Johnson, Phillip Lindsay.
Cameron Johnson, come to the office. Sit down.
Acquired back in early July in one of the bigger trades and roster moves for the Nuggets, definitely since they won the title, and maybe even a little bit before that, shipping Michael Porter Jr. to Brooklyn in exchange for Cam Johnson and some draft considerations. And that really broke the dam, if you want to do some more dam talk, Phil, because that domino falling led to the Bruce Brown re-signing, the Tim Hardaway signing, the Jonas Valanciunas for Dario Saric trade, maybe my favorite trade of the whole offseason because of how much I disliked Dario Saric. But, Phil, I think because of the hype nature of that move and the gravity of it, shipping out a core, homegrown talent that was Michael Porter Jr., as frustrating as he was, I think that automatically set the eyeball expectation and bar for Cam Johnson and what he was going to bring to the Nuggets really high, right? And I think Cam Johnson is a hell of a basketball player.
And it's early. We know this.
Of course it's early.
We're reacting to one game.
That's what we have to do.
Yeah,
That's our job. And everybody in Nuggets Nation is to some degree or another doing exactly the same thing. So I think Cam Johnson is a hell of a basketball player. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the Denver Nuggets. And I think that what we're going to see from him over the course of an 82-game season is at worst exactly what we got from Michael Porter Jr. and more likely, in my opinion, a better overall performance.
Look, Cam Johnson is going to be just fine. He has to find his footing, find his place on this team, understand when to take the shots, start to understand Jokic's game, understand the players around him. And we also have to remember that 4 of the 5 guys have been together for a very long time, have won a championship. You're talking about Christian Brown, Jamal Murray, Jokic, Aaron Gordon. They're going to have chemistry. Now you're adding a newcomer who is going to be an excellent addition as time goes on. But as of right now, it's for Cam, it's just like find your footing, find your rhythm. When the shots are there, make them. Play some good defense until you can really start to understand where you belong on this rotation.
This was really the first kind of trial by fire for Cam Johnson as a member of the Nuggets. And I don't think it can be understated, Phil, just how different of an ecosystem Cam Johnson is living in now compared to where he was operating in Brooklyn. When you are a supporting cast member, when you are one of the moons orbiting around Nikola Jokic, who is the center of this Denver Nuggets universe, there is no off switch. There is no downtime. There is no lull. Jokic is the ultimate distributor. The ball is like water, and it will find the path of least resistance and the best possible scoring opportunity through Jokic. And what that means is you got to be on. We saw it in the preseason. There were times where Cam Johnson is kind of floating out on the perimeter, and Jokic throws him a curving, spinning, no-look bounce pass out to the corner for a wide open three, and Cam Johnson's catching the ball like, wait a minute. I wasn't exactly thinking that was how this was going to play out, because if you don't play alongside a guy like Jokic, you don't really experience that as frequently as you do here. And because of that, I just think, as disappointing as the performance was, right? 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists.
Richie, what were you expecting? Like, what were your expectations for Cam Johnson in the first game of the season?
I don't know that I had a specific pinpoint, like, I expect him to have X amount of points or a double-double or, this many threes. I didn't necessarily quantify it like that. Obviously, you hope and you want it to look better than it did when you're talking about 32 minutes of action and what it kind of transpired to, especially from a shooting percentage standpoint. But I went into it with like tempered and measured expectations because of what I saw in the preseason, because of what we've seen with newcomers that come to Denver who, make no mistake, it always varies on how long it takes to get there, but Jokic brings out the best in the players around him, and that will absolutely, in my opinion, be the case with Cam Johnson. It just might take 5, 10, 15, maybe, games to really iron that out and allow him to feel as comfortable. Maybe, and we'll see. I expect there to be, stacking improvements game to game, week to week.
Well, yeah, I expect for them to go back to the drawing board on certain things and get Cam Johnson more involved. Jokic is definitely going to get him more involved. They're going to talk all the time and say, hey, this is what I want to see from you. This is what I want you to do. So my expectation wasn't that Cam Johnson was going to go for 20 points this game. I just wanted to see him out there and see what he looks like in a Nuggets uniform. And then you go from there. And also we have to understand that you're going against a vet-savvy team with the Warriors that has seen Cam Johnson multiple times. So it's not like he's this new guy on the block who has never played in the NBA. So going into that game, they had game film on Cam Johnson. They know his strength, his weaknesses. And I'm excited to see what he looks like in this next game. I'm excited to see what he looks like 10 games from now. It's going to be a great addition. And my expectations weren't through the roof for Cam Johnson the first game. Like I said earlier, you're playing with 4 guys that have been together for a very long time, that have chemistry, that have won a championship, and you're trying to get in where you fit in until you start to really understand your role.
Did you have any other major takeaways from the other debuts that we saw in Nuggets uniforms? Jonas Valanciunas, Tim Hardaway, Bruce Brown Part 2.
I think you want to talk about Jonas. I'm gonna let you talk about Jonas, but to me, it's Jamal Murray. He looked a lot better. I mean, he has a fast start. This is what we've asked for. It's for Jamal to start fast. 25 points. He's slim, as we all know. He's moving around. We finally got to see some separation. He was getting to the rim. Like, the things that we wanted to see from Jamal was happening. Now, of course, do we want to see him hit and knock down some of his threes? Of course, and that's going to come. But I love what I see from Jamal in the first game of the year. Are you kidding me? Like, it's going to be a fun season, and that two-man game is going to continue to get better and better again. They're rusty right now. So, Jamal Murray, man, you look good. I'm excited to see what you look like as the year goes on. Let's get an all-star this year. Let's be an all-star, man. He has what it takes, obviously. And if we're going to win a championship, he has to be the second best guy on our team.
Well, this certainly could be the year to do it, right? You at least think on paper that the Nuggets are as deep and their bench unit is maybe as talented as it's been, at least since they won the title, when you had Brucey B coming off of that with Christian Brown, who's obviously now in the starting lineup. And I think with Jamal, there were moments, and I don't know if you experienced the same thing, where I found myself being a little frustrated with some of his ISO work, like he's dribbling way too late into the shot clock, and then it ends up with an empty possession and things like that. But again, in the same way that I took the Cam Johnson performance, going 2 for 8 from the field and 1 for 6 from deep, with some context, right, some nuance to it of it being his first game, Jamal is a big shot and a big moment merchant, right? He's hunting for that, at least when he's properly motivated, which he appeared to be last night, and it was reminiscent of some of his better years in recent past. And you gotta, if you want dessert, you gotta have your vegetables, you know? You gotta have the baby and the bathwater. So sometimes you're gonna have possessions that come up that way because he is finding his rhythm and looking for his moment and opportunity to make the big shots that we know he's capable of, especially in the postseason. It's just not always gonna convert.
No, and look, I'm excited. This team is going to win a bunch of games. They're going to get on a heater here soon. I'm excited to see what this unit looks like. The second unit, the bench, it was lovely to see that Jokic didn't have to be out there for a very long time. Like, you could have kept Jokic on the bench for 2 more minutes if you really wanted to, and JV could have been just fine, went to work. Tim Hardaway, he's going to find his rhythm, his groove with the three-point shot. Brucey B, just having him back out there, you know, although – It wasn't a significant amount of points, but just his presence alone, like, this is going to be a fun year for the Denver Nuggets.
Bruce Brown had some defensive tenacity and grit that came out in that game against the Warriors that made me kind of smile and remember him doing that so often during their playoff run to the NBA championship a handful of years ago. And I think that that's going to be a mainstay part of his role in his second act with the Nuggets as well. All right, coming up next, a familiar pain point with the Quebec Nordiques got felt again last night, and I'm really not sure how to explain it at this point. I ask for Phillip Lindsay's and your help doing that coming up next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money, all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
How good does it feel to let go of 82 pounds in just 16 weeks? free. Soda Weight Loss is the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and results.
In 16 weeks, I lost 82 pounds because I had learned how to eat smarter. And that's what soda does. They don't just help you lose weight fast, they help you keep it off with habits that last a lifetime.
No hunger, no shots, no guesswork.
You probably saved my life. I mean, I was 30 pounds overweight. I went on soda, and now I'm healthy, and I just got off my blood pressure medicine and my cholesterol medicine, and that is amazing to me.
With Soda Weight Loss, you get real support to help you let go of the weight for good. And now it's easier than ever. Join Soda Weight Loss now, and your partner joins for free. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
This is Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. If you've been seriously injured in a truck or car wreck, you want Wilhite. Get your free case review now. We've been voted best personal injury law firm for the last 3 years in a row. Visit WilhiteWins.com and win big with Wilhite.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity, and the other day I'm over at a friend's place. He's pumped to watch football, but his setup, total mess. Lagging, buffering, switching between apps, trying to find a game. He claimed to be a big fan, but I feel like I was being fan-fished. See, if you call yourself a football fan, you gotta have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. And the way I watch, well, it's next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, so clear it feels like I'm in the stadium. Sometimes I've got 4 games going on at once. Why? Because why not? On top of that, I get real-time notifications, live stats right on my TV. It's the best seat in the house every single time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K cable TV box.
Whatever you're looking for when you head out into the wild, keep an open mind. Sometimes the real treasure is the journey itself. Sure enough, there's treasure out there. Sometimes it's something you didn't expect to find. And more often than not, it's as simple as the memories you make. Make some memories of your own with a new vehicle from Corwin Toyota. Family driven for over 100 years.
Hey, Stoke here. At Colorado Joint Replacement, your hip or knee replacement surgery is their first priority. They completed over 27,000 joint replacements since 2005, and their expert surgeons are committed to helping you get back to the life you love. To schedule an appointment, visit coloradojoint.org.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's powered by Archwell Health. Primary care for adults age 60 and older.
Get ready for every Broncos game with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall as he joins the drive every Friday afternoon at 4:45 exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Thanks to Corwin Toyota Boulder. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
I had to stay up late watching our Denver teams last night, Phillip Lindsay. The Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors going late into the evening there.
They would go in overtime, both teams.
And the Colorado Avalanche and the Carolina Hurricanes in one of the throwback matchups that I think is maybe the most visually appealing uniform combination in the NHL. The Quebec Nordiques and the Hartford Whalers. The contrast in their jerseys, the old school pastel colors. Phil, that was like, I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, if you're like the Andrew Mason type, he does his obscure jersey hunts and all that stuff. But if you're just, it really was. I'm not even being corny. That was so fun to watch, and I'll tip my cap to the broadcast crew on TV, the way that they put the old school font up on
they built it up. They did a great job.
They had the score bug with the old school teams on it. It was just really fun.
It was a fun experience, and also it's like, Richie, you're looking at these unis. I'm like, I don't know really how to feel about it, but I will say this, I want to see it again. I would love to see the uniforms again.
Yeah, well, I would too, and you and I might be in the minority in that, because there are some, including several here at our station. I heard the boys in the middays there, Dover and Cecil, agreeing with our own Andrew Mason, and it sounds like Dante Gomez, who put out there that teams like Quebec and Hartford, who lost their franchises, right, due to relocation coming to Carolina and to Colorado, that Carolina and Colorado going forward shouldn't get to wear those uniform combos because it's disrespectful or it's rude to the fan bases in the cities that lost their team. Do you agree with that?
No, I think it's a sign of respect. Like, you're going back and saying, hey, like, we acknowledge what you guys did back in the day. And like, why should you not be able to acknowledge that and reward them and to celebrate that? I don't look at it as a bad thing. Richie, what about you?
DG behind the glass, what do you think?
Absolutely not. As someone that lost their professional sports team in Phoenix, no.
Here we go.
I would
now
be
it's
super.
personal.
There we go.
Well, yeah, you guys don't know what it's like. I would not be happy if the Utah Mammoth are wearing throwback Coyotes jerseys. It's like, no, those are ours. You guys left because you wanted to leave.
Nobody wants to see the Coyote jerseys anymore anyway.
Well, Phil, that's just wrong. Everybody loves those jerseys. But no, I think it's disrespectful. It's like thrown in their face, kind of. It's like, hey, this is what, you could have had, but we decided to leave, and now we, screwed over the fan base, screwed over the city, and then we're just going to parade in these cool jerseys.
So because you, as a fan base, have your feelings hurt and are upset, all the fans of the place where the team relocated to don't get to enjoy fun things about their team that.
Well, enjoy your stuff, not our stuff.
Other teams. We've just got to. Why can't we just have nice things? Why can't we just enjoy stuff?
People are going to be
without worrying about.
There's never going to be a day that goes by where everybody's on the same page. DG's not on the same page as us right now. He's upset. He would be upset because you got the Avalanche that are trying to do something nice for everybody.
But it's not nice. They stole their team.
They didn't steal it, Phil. The team Phil, Dante.
What did I do to you, Richie?
The team, yeah, you're next. The team decided to relocate for whatever reasons, financial or otherwise. They sold the team and it relocated. It's not a personal affront by the new organization or a message from the current or former fan base. It's just an homage to history and to the past, regardless of where or what it was located in.
Real quick, Richie, if your current girlfriend was like, actually, I'm going to date this new guy, but I'm still going to wear the clothes that you let me borrow, and you saw her out in public wearing your shirt, would you be like, oh, yeah, that's fine?
I've lived that on the other side of the discussion. When I was in high school, before my high school / college girlfriend and I started dating, she went to our homecoming football game with her then boyfriend wearing my football jersey to the homecoming game.
Oh, so you felt like the man.
And it was immortalized on the school yearbook cover. So I have been in the situation that you're describing, just on the other end of it than what you're asking me right now. And yeah, I'd be fine with it. It's just cool, okay? It was an awesome visual representation of the game. It was a nod to the historical past for each team, and it was really up until the way that it ended. It was kind of the icing on top of the cake of what was a really good hockey game.
It was a great hockey game in the way that the Avs were able to storm back, and yeah, they lose 5-4 in a shootout, but man, they had every opportunity, Richie, to win that game. And when you have Val, who had that backhand shot on the top shelf, like, that was beautiful to tie the game up at the beginning in the first period. And then Val was promoted to the first power play and was able to get the goal in the third period. Like, that's what you're looking for. Now, with that being said, when it comes to the Avalanche, Richie, what's going on with the power play? Like, what is going on?
Phil, I don't know. It is the problem that continues to plague the Avalanche, and it's been brought up a couple of times already in this young season. You get people on social media, online, on a text line, whatever, that say, oh, you're being a Chicken Little, you're being a doomsdayer, it's not that big a deal, it's early in the season. But this is not a new issue that has popped up. This isn't like the Colorado Avalanche just woke up and there's all of a sudden overnight like a pimple on their forehead that's very unsightly.
Pop that pimple.
Okay? This is something that was one of the chief reasons why they fell to the Dallas Stars last postseason in 7 games, because they were unable to, just as they were for good stretches of the 2024 regular season, to convert with any sort of reasonable measure of consistency on the power play. And Phil, I got to be honest with you, it defies logic and science to me that this exists. The Colorado Avalanche are one of the most skilled, precision, passing, and scoring offenses in the National Hockey League.
That's one of the best players in the world on one team. Like, you can't make it up.
2 out of, at most, the top 4 or 5 with Cale and Nate. And Nate, just the way he's starting the season.
You got to put it into the old Marty party over there because he's having a hell of a start.
He's having a hell of a start. 12 points, 6 goals, 6 assists. But, Phil, it was a hallmark of the team that steamrolled through the Stanley Cup playoffs and to a Stanley Cup championship in 2021-2022, the relentless offensive pressure and their ability to just smother opposing goaltenders with shots on goal. And that core or that essence still exists with the players, especially in this top 6 for the Colorado Avalanche. And for some reason, when they suddenly find themselves in a position where they're at a man advantage, where everything should be, in theory, spaced out better and easier, it completely goes away. And I'm not 100% sure why.
To me, when I'm looking at it, because I don't know why too, so I'm speculating here, just like any other fan, maybe it's being more aggressive. Now, there was a time where Cale had opportunities. He said, like, screw it, I'm just going to take as many shots as possible. I want to see that. I'd rather pepper that goalie as much as possible, because at some point it's going to get through the back of the net. That's what you want to see. So at times it looks like the power play in the first unit is stagnant. And maybe you do need a change up. You end up putting Val with the first unit, the first power play unit, you get a goal out of it. So I believe that it's going to get better. It must get better if we're going to win and beat tougher teams. But I want to see more action, man. I want to see more movement from the power play unit. And of course, with Wedgwood, I have to put that in before we go. You know, it was smart of Bednar to get Wedgie out of there and put him in with Trent Miner. And Trent Miner did a hell of a job. He saved 20 shots.
He did.
Giving us an opportunity.
Wedgie's been great to start the season. It just wasn't his night. Trent Miner was able to come in and help them rally back to try to salvage the point, which they did. And a shout out to Tom and Parker on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043, who was talking about the Avs power plays issues. He's giving the only reasonable explanation I could think of, which is that the Avs just get too cute on the power play.
I agree.
They're searching for the right opportunity. They're trying to utilize and flex some of that amazing passing ability, wrapping it around. Just put the damn puck on the net. Just make something happen, and eventually you get big bodies like Val in front of the net, creating traffic, causing havoc, and things happen. All right, coming up next, it'll be good on good and average on kind of bad for the Broncos and the Cowboys this weekend. So we'll see who is going to win the tug-of-war on each side of the ball coming up next.
Can J.K. Dobbins take advantage of a poor rushing defense? Will Javonte Williams get a revenge game against his former team? We'll break it all down in the Fan Football pregame show, live on game day starting at noon. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th. New Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and autopay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's Fall Football Sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here. And last year, I went a little rogue and dropped a discount code from our friends at Hermes Worldwide. And you guys used it so much, they almost got mad at me. Well, I'm feeling a little spicy again this season, so I'm bringing it back, baby. You can get 30% off your ride to the game with Hermes Worldwide for your entire season. All you have to do is mention the code PL30. Again, mention PL30 when you book your luxury transportation to Empower Field. And contact Hermes Worldwide at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports. Go Broncos!
Your roof's the single most important part of your house. Snow and high winds can damage your roof. Don't trust your roof to any fly-by-night roofing companies. Call the professionals at Golden Spike for a free roof inspection and tell them you heard about it on The Fan. They're a locally owned company and a Team Dave Logan member.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix. 303-942-1386. Golden Spike Roofing.
What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room ahead of the holidays. It's possible when you call American Financing today. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills piling up, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and credit card rates are insane in the 20s or even 30s. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt with rates in the low 5s. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and save money every month, all without upfront fees. Their customers are saving an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise without having to change jobs. Call American Financing before it's too late at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the 5s start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
Dan Jacobs with Jacobs Law on 303 Law 4040. Just got a great result for a client. Sam had another attorney who couldn't get her more than $20,000, so we took over the case and just settled it for $85,000. Another client, Travis, is like a lot of people. He likes doing business with a handshake in his word, not looking to sue anyone. But when the insurance company was playing hardball and refusing to even pay his medical bills, he called 303 Law 4040 and said, Dan, I hate to bug you, but they just aren't being fair. We took over the case, told the insurance company we would see them at trial, and they immediately more than quadrupled their offer, which was just fine in Travis's book. The insurance companies don't play fair. They aren't going to do the right thing out of the goodness of their hearts, so you don't ever have to feel guilty when calling 303 Law 4040. If you've been injured, we'll make them pay what's fair. And as always, you always talk directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. So save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
Heads up, pros. Now's your chance to unlock deeper savings. The Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred pricing can help you save thousands on the products your business uses the most. But the current benefit ends November 15th. Don't miss out. Registration for the new program is free and easy. Just bring your tax ID or business or contractor's license to the Pro Desk. Register now to lock in the best wholesale prices before it's too late.
Join Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and Athletic at Mile High Station on Sunday, October 26th from noon to 2:25 p.m. for the Fan Football pregame show. Get your head in the game and enjoy orange and blue face painting and ice-cold Athletic. Athletic, all in, all game.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
On 104.3 HD3, TU Hockey skates with Boston College with pregame starting at 4:30. Tomorrow on The Fan, home of the Colorado State Rams. CSU football faces Wyoming with pregame starting at 4:30. Presented by Rock's Heating and Air. And on 104.3 HD3, TU Hockey skates with Northeastern with pregame starting at 4:30.
Open an account in less than 5 minutes. Visit WesteraCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Leading off with the big story of the day, here's The Drive with Zach By and Denver, Colorado's own Phillip Lindsay.
Nordiques and Whalers is not the only throwback matchup that we're going to get, at least from a uniform perspective, here in Colorado this week, Phillip Lindsay, as the Denver Broncos are set to take on the Dallas Cowboys at 2:25 local time at Empower Field at Mile High, and they will be wearing those beautiful throwback powder blue and orange uniforms that I secretly and will always wish maybe could just be the regular ones, even though I know it'll never happen.
I feel like everybody. I mean, like maybe there's a few out there that don't want this to happen, but give me the throwbacks.
In all honesty, as someone who I'm in my early 30s, I'm a millennial, whatever. But these throwback weeks, whether it's the Kelly Greens for the Philadelphia Eagles, the creamsicles for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Whalers and the Nordiques in the NHL. Do they ever just kind of make you realize, like, you know what, maybe, like, jersey combos and colors were cooler back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like look at it's not as commercialized.
The baby blue with the orange
Yeah.
for the Denver Broncos, the socks, they're going to have different lining to it. It's pretty sweet.
And I know that the Broncos never won a Super Bowl in those beautiful uniforms. And
well, they can now.
Their greatest
they
success.
can.
Yeah, this could be a year.
This could be it.
This could be a year. The greatest success they've had has come in their more traditional uniforms that we've come to know. But regardless of the uniform talk, Phil, what's actually going to take place on the field is going to be kind of a tale of two sides of the coin here. Because on one hand, you've kind of got the unstoppable force meeting the relatively unmovable object, right? Strength on strength. The Dallas Cowboys offensively come into this game on Sunday ranked first in total offense at 390 yards per game. They are 13th in rushing offense at 122 yards a game, second in passing offense, and second in scoring offense at just under 32 points per game. Meanwhile, Denver's defense, which I think it's pretty fair to say has been the strength of their team so far this season.
One of the best in the league.
And was for a good chunk of last season as well, comes in allowing third in total defense at 273 yards a game, top 10 in rush defense at number 9, sixth in pass defense at 179.9 yards per game, and fourth in scoring defense, allowing essentially 18 points per game. So clearly, Cowboys offense, Broncos defense is strength on strength. Meanwhile, the other end of the coin for each of those teams, it's kind of like the average at best meets the pretty damn bad. You got the Broncos offense coming into this game, 11th in total offense, which you think, oh, hey, fringe top 10. But have your eyes told you this looks like a fringe top 10 offense?
No. This is where you got to throw the stats out the window and you have to watch these football games. It has not been good enough for the Denver Bronco offense. They have to start getting some type of rhythm going early. Start fast, finish strong. Simple, right? It's hard for the Denver Broncos to do. Start fast and finish strong.
11th in total offense for the Denver Broncos at 347 yards a game. They still have a top 6 rushing offense, averaging 132 yards a game, and they are 15th, essentially smack dab in the middle as a passing offense in 2025 with 215 yards a game. It's good for about 17th overall in scoring. Right there, smack dab in the middle, which is where the Broncos have painfully existed for the better part of the last half decade, which is like they were never so bad that it was like blow it up and start it over, but they were never good enough to really like have any kind of measurable success. So the Broncos are right there just in kind of that frustrating purgatory.
Well, where you want to start? Offensively or defensively, Richie? To you, what's more important?
Well, I kind of want to start with the Broncos offense because the Cowboys defense, they're just bad, Phil. 32nd in total defense out of how many teams in the NFL?
32.
32. 30th in rushing defense, 32nd in passing defense, and 30th in scoring defense. Bottom 3 or dead last in every major defensive category.
It's been rough for the Dallas Cowboys defense. It really has. This is why for someone like Micah Parsons, he's like, hey, I got to get out of here. You don't want to pay me my money? I am out of here.
And Phil, it's a good point you bring that up because they were pretty close to that bad with Micah Parsons pre-trade.
Exactly. So I understand it's like for Jerry Jones, it's like, hey, if we're going to be bad on defense, we're not going to pay a superstar, and then we don't have any more money to give out to the defense so that we become really good. So get rid of your superstar, I guess. And it's still been bad for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, for the Denver Broncos offense, can you get something going? Is this a get-right game?
How could it not be on paper? It presents exactly that opportunity.
We said that against the Jets. And the Jets were sitting there at the 30th or 31st ranked defense.
It was their worst offensive performance of the year.
we said it, and it was like, hey, like, how come we can't get it going against the Jets, who are they're not a good football team right now. Defensively, they haven't been a good football team, but yet in that game, across the pond, they were able to dominate our offense. But Richie, that was across the pond. This is here, right, in Denver, home field advantage. This is the time for Bo Nix, for Sean to be on the same page, to get back on the same page. This is time for the offensive line to get going and move them downhill. This is time for J.K. Dobbins to get to his 100 yards. But let's not give him just 14 carries. I said it earlier on my Instagram. If you give J.K. Dobbins 20 carries, one, he's going for 100 yards against a bad defense. And just because it's J.K. Dobbins and he finds ways to bust a big one every single game, he's going to get to 100 yards because of the way he runs the football. But also, if you could try to establish the run early, you're going to build off of that. You're going to force Dallas to put another guy in the box because they can't stop the run. And now you will have Cortland Sutton and you will have Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin open and giving them the opportunities to have an explosive chunk play. That's what you're looking for. It all starts with the run. It starts with J.K. Dobbins and handing him the ball and Sean just sitting back and being okay with it. I'm expecting this first, if you have the first series and you go out there the first series because the Dallas decides to defer, I don't want to see 3 passes in a row. I want to see some type of balance. I want to see J.K. Dobbins get the first 2 carries of the game. I want to see J.K. get 5 yards the first run, maybe 4 or 5 yards the second run. Let's just say he gets 5 yards. Okay, you get the first down. Now you can start opening up that playbook. Now you can start to be more creative and do some play action and get Bo Nix and someone like Evan Ingram involved, Richie. So that's what I want to see against a bad Dallas defense. Whew, sorry, I had to get it out there. I had to get it off my chest.
I 100% co-sign everything you said, Phil, and I'll take it and add on to it one step further here. I think this is a do-or-die game for the Denver Broncos offense in one specific way. Sean Payton, during his tenure here with the Broncos, whether it was Russell Wilson at quarterback and the first year and a half of his tenure with Bo Nix, has shown a complete inability and lack of interest at times in committing to and successfully executing running the football.
Yeah.
He just hasn't. He's had in 2 consecutive seasons now to write run the ball in Sharpie at the top of his play sheet, and in at least one of those instances, he really didn't even do it, even though it was literally staring him in the face. If you cannot, as the leader of this offense and the caller of plays and the designer of the scheme, find a way to commit to running the football, and not just committing to it early, but committing to it consistently and executing it at a high level against the literal worst defense in the NFL and the 3rd worst rushing defense specifically in the NFL, there is no sign to point to going forward that the Broncos will ever be able to do it for the remainder of this season. This is the game that if Sean Payton is serious about the changes that he has hinted at making on offense from a personnel standpoint, from a scheme standpoint, and the self-awareness that guys like Jonathan Cooper after the game have acknowledged, saying, hey, we know we're winning in unsustainable ways and it hasn't bitten us as many times as it could.
Yeah, you can't do this. We can't continue to go this route. We won't win another game hoping that we have a 4th quarter miracle.
If the words from the head coach and defensive stars like Jonathan Cooper and offensive members like Mike McGlinchey, who echoed the same exact sentiment about the mentality that they need to change in order to bring more consistency to the early quarters and not just explosions in the 4th quarter, if any of that is real and genuine, this will be a pound the rock afternoon for the Denver Broncos.
And you know what, Richie? I believe it's going to be that type of game. I believe that for Sean's, like, he's hearing everybody talk about this, and not just us. He's hearing it probably from his own players. He's hearing it maybe from J.K., who's probably went up to Sean and said, hey, Coach, can I get a couple more carries? The offensive line saying, Coach, can you help us out? The easiest thing for offensive linemen to do is get downhill, not sit there and pass protect all game. Maybe even Bo Nix goes up to Sean and says, hey, coach, let's get the run game going because it's going to help take pressure off of me. It's going to set up some of these play-action plays so I can take a couple shots downfield. I do believe that Sean is going to change the way he thinks of this game because he knows that what he has been doing hasn't been working. He knows that he continues to put his quarterback in bad situations. Take the pressure off of yourself and your quarterback by handing that ball off. I used to say it all the time, Richie. I would tell the quarterback, hey, baby, get the dark visor on. Look pretty this game because all I want you to do is hand me the football. Why can't we do that? Why can't we have a game where we run the ball 20 times again? Why can't we have a game where it's all about the offensive line beating up on the defense and there's a physicality to it where it's like, okay, this is what I want to see, the smash mouth football. There's nobody else out there telling us we can't do it. Sean just needs to obey his eyes, understand that the identity of this team is the offensive line and the running back, J.K. Dobbins, and it's running the football. Run the ball, and then everything else will take care of itself organically.
Evidence would suggest, Phil, that I am wrong in what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
Because when given the opportunity to bend, to sway, to zag instead of zig,
to adjust, to adapt.
When it comes to Sean Payton's offense, his scheme, his philosophy, his play calling and execution, he typically does not. He does not bend with the wind that we in the media, they and everyone in the fan base tends to blow his way with their frustrations about how the offense has lacked execution for the most part this season. But I do think that changes this week. And I do think they have a more committed approach to running the football. And I do think that the lack of faith in the execution of the offense, which is part of the reason why I think Sean Payton has been kind of vanilla and plain in some of his play calls with the abundance of screens and the lack of commitment to establishing a run to open up play action. I think some of that goes away. You know why?
Why? Well, what's going on, Richie? What's in that head of yours?
Because he loves his cue.
Okay, so
because he loves his cue.
Well, explain that. Like, he loves his cue. If you love your cue and you're Sean Payton and you can visualize Bo Nix being the next Drew Brees, then why are you going to change up? Why are you going to sit here and continue to not obey your eyes? Because that's what you've been doing. You haven't been obeying your eyes, and you've been going up against what's been working. So why are you going to change now?
Because it sounds like, based on things we're hearing out of Broncos Park powered by Common Spirit.
There you go.
That Sean's cue did exactly what you just 45 seconds ago urged him to do or suggested that he might do. I think Bo Nix spoke up after this game against the Giants.
Oh, Richie, you shouldn't think. You should know.
Yep.
There's a reason why we're talking about it.
I think I do know. Okay. And I know actually thanks to you, because you sent me a link to an article from our guy Luca Evans, who does a great job for the Denver Post covering the Denver Broncos, talking about how the Broncos offense is doing something new this week that they have not done up to this point in the season. And to my knowledge, they may not have done it in the entirety of the Sean Payton Bo Nix era here over a season and a half. Entire offense collective film reviews in addition to positional meetings.
I love it. And you know what? Those do work. And so pretty much what it's saying is so what happens is, so every team is different. You have certain teams that say, we're not going to do a bunch of team film. We're not going to stay together as a unit, offensive unit where the offensive line, receivers, tight ends, running backs, everybody's in the same room, quarterback. We're going to split off. Everybody's going to watch their film separately, and then we're going to come back and get ready for practice. And then there's teams like what Bo's trying to do, which is very smart, is get everybody on the same page. Everybody needs to be in the meeting room listening to each other, listening to the same coach. The same coach is your head coach, Sean Payton. Everybody needs to be in there so we're on the same page. You can even go through and call out plays where Bo's asking questions, because Matt Ryan would do that sometimes to us, where we would be in this unit room together and Matt would be like, hey, Phil, all right, if we have this protection and the safety comes off the edge, who do you have? Right? He's testing all of us so that we are on the same page, so that when we get in this game and that safety comes off the edge, I know who I have. And now Matt Ryan can trust that that the running back can do his job, and so that he'll stay in the pocket a little bit longer to let a play develop. So Bo Nix is doing a phenomenal job of speaking up finally and saying, Coach, what we have been doing has not been working. but let's go this route. Give us this much respect and let us show you that this can work too. And everybody can be on the same page, and now we can sustain drives.
And I'm going to give the Broncos credit because I was one who, after that win against the Giants, believed it a little bit myself, but even in so much as just posed the question, hey, man, does a win like that against the Giants, where you come back from a 3-score deficit, you score 33 fourth-quarter points.
Unbelievable.
And you get a home win in front of a energized crowd that had witnessed the halftime honoring of the Super Bowl 50 team on the decade anniversary and the enshrinement and induction of the late, great Demaryius Thomas into the Ring of Fame. You gave them a win and a memory and a moment that they will remember for the rest of their lives. And with all of that packed into the fourth quarter of that game last Sunday, I just asked the question, does an event like that potentially, even mentally, overshadow or diminish some of the problems and the issues that have plagued this Broncos offense that led you to that point in the first place to even be able to do what they did? Because I think that's a very real thing. You're winning. There's a temptation to be like, hey, listen, it hasn't been perfect. It hasn't been great, but life's not perfect, and sometimes it's not going to be great, but we're winning games.
But
we're 5-2.
But that right there, Richie, would be a coach that doesn't care necessarily on how they win. You're dealing with Sean Payton, who is the offensive coordinator as well. He cares how they win because he wants to be talked about. And so although, yes, you are winning these games, and a lot of it has to do with the fourth quarter comebacks and also the defense doing their part, but for Sean, what I've heard through that facility is everybody is still walking on eggshells throughout that facility, even when they're winning, because they're not winning. The Broncos are not winning. Specifically, the offense is not doing what Sean wants done, and so he is not happy.
I am thankful to have been wrong in suggesting that, Phil, because, again, according to the reporting in the article by Luca Evans at the Denver Post, literally after the game, after the Broncos and Giants walked off the field and Dre Greenlaw was recovering from his verbal altercation with referee Brad Allen, the Broncos as a team and as an offense specifically went through an entire film session together.
Yeah.
And it was so informative, according to Pat Bryant, Mike McGlinchey, and others that are referenced in the article, that Bo just turned around and said, literal quote, F it, let's just keep doing it. And it sounds like that was an integral part of their preparation this week. If you're telling me, if Luca Evans is telling us, and Broncos country by extension, that the self-awareness that Jonathan Cooper showed after the game, that Mike McGlinchey talked about, that Sean Payton kind of hinted at in terms of not getting caught up in press clippings with how amazing that win was, and clearly they still have a lot to work on. If that self-awareness led to that action, led by Bo Nix, who is Sean Payton's baby, he loves his Q, and if there was going to be anyone, literally anyone, not named Greg Penner, who could probably get Sean by pushing the thumb down to say, hey, it's time to make a change, it's Bo Nix. And I feel like we got an inkling of that this week. So, with all of that as evidence, I think this is going to be a run the football week more than we've seen from the Denver Broncos up to this point. To the point, Phil, that you talk about J.K. Dobbins and his ability to get to 100 yards if you just feed the damn guy as much as you should,
feed
because
him the rock.
he's
That's
one of
it.
the best runners in football when he's healthy. I think, and maybe I'm projecting some hope and optimism here, that there could be such a commitment to this philosophy based on their film review and what they've come together as a team to decide and look in the mirror. Phil, we might get a J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey combo game. Not both getting to 100 yards or whatever, but have we not been looking at week to week at R.J. Harvey being like, what the hell's going on here, man?
So like, for me, I hope that we get the R.J. Harvey, J.K. combo, but I'm not going to sit here and count on it. You should be able to do it against a bad defense. I'm just sticking with J.K. Can we at least get one of our running backs going? I don't even want to put the J.K. or R.J. Harvey combo together yet until J.K. can get 20, maybe even 21 carries, and then we can sit here and say, okay, R.J., get going as well.
Oh, listen, I'm certainly not waking up, taking a piss, and putting a bet on it like Zach Bye. What I am doing, though, is I am opening myself up to a world where that could happen. I can close my eyes and see it when we come in here on Monday and we talk about, man, it took 8 weeks, but we finally got the R.J. Harvey game that we thought we were going to get when we thought this guy might be the starter in week 1.
Yeah.
And J.K. Dobbins continued to carry the load that he's been, and he outshined Javonte Williams in a revenge game scenario. Phil,
Look,
if it doesn't happen this week,
Richie.
if it doesn't happen this week, my man, I literally don't know another game left on the schedule where we're going to go, yeah, the Broncos are really going to run the ball in this game.
And look, they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. Now, J.K. is going to be the guy getting majority of the carries. Now, if RJ takes advantage of his opportunities, he goes out there the first 3 carries, he can get some chunk plays, he's going to get more opportunities. That's how it goes. You ride the hot hand. But I'm not gonna sit here and wait on RJ to decide to do that. You're more than welcome to, my man. Go out there, RJ, and have a game.
Yeah, he's got to take it. He's got to take it.
For JK, he has earned those right. Give JK 21 carries. I know everybody's like, well, he's been hurt. Well, JK has told us he's not hurt prone. So give that man his carries. Now, I love your thought process. Get both running backs going and just run the ball, because that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You just want to see them run the
ball.
ball.
Part of my reason for doing that is I've watched Sean Payton, maybe to his own and the team's detriment, take J.K. Dobbins out of the football game when he's running the damn ball pretty well.
Yeah.
I watched J.K. Dobbins help lead the Broncos all the way down the field against the Philadelphia Eagles, get to the 2 or 3 yard line, and then in comes R.J. Harvey for a toss sweep play that loses 2 yards, and it's 2nd and goal from the 5 or the 6. So I don't think that Sean Payton has necessarily put J.K. or R.J. in consistent positions to succeed. R.J. has certainly not capitalized on the opportunities that he has.
You can't put R.J. in there.
J.K. has. It's just been a matter of why aren't you feeding him more?
No, it is. It's why aren't you feeding him more? And here's the thing that I want to see this game against Dallas. We are going to get to the red zone. The Dallas Cowboys, they do not have a good defense.
And they're banged up.
And they're banged up. So we are going to be able to sustain drives. Once we get into the red zone, all right, maybe even when we get to the goal line, give the running backs an opportunity to score a touchdown. Let them have some glory as well. Because there were 2 opportunities against the Giants where you're on the goal line, and yet J.K. doesn't touch the ball. The whole time that you're at the goal line. You decide to throw the ball because you want to prop up Bo Nick's stats. I don't want to see that. I want to see the Denver Broncos establish the run game, all right, and finish it off with J.K. Dobbins in the end zone, handing it to an offensive lineman, preferably my man Garrett Bowles, GB zone, and let him do his little spike down. I want to see Sean Payton be able to let the running backs in the offensive line reward the Broncos country by getting in the end zone by running the ball.
Yeah, I would rather see Garrett Bowles doing a celebratory spike than belly flopping in the end zone on a bad pass for a tackle-eligible touchdown that they didn't convert on. I'm good if I don't see that anymore the rest of this season. All right, coming up next, there is a sporting event later tonight that may have a significant impact on the future of a professional sport forever. That'll lead off the 3 count coming up next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money, all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Ever tried fixing an outlet yourself? First, you watch a DIY video, then you grab your tools. Next thing you know, sparks are flying and your hair looks like you just licked an electrical socket. Let's avoid that, shall we? Piper Electric has been providing expert electrical service since 1983. Repairs, upgrades, EV charger installations, even commercial and industrial. They do it all and do it right. They're giving you $50 off your next service. No fried hair required. Call 303-422-9219 today. Piper Electric. Leave the electricity to the experts.
Don't miss Colorado football's 2 remaining home games of the 2025 season. Celebrate homecoming with the Buffaloes as CU faces the Arizona Wildcats on Saturday, November 1st. Then lock in your seats for Senior Day against the reigning Big 12 champs, Arizona State, on November 22nd. Great seats are still available at beautiful Folsom Field. Visit cubus.com/tickets or call 303-492-8282 and be there as Ralphie 7 leads the charge for your Colorado Buffaloes.
Why wait for the weekend? Twin Peaks is serving up scratch-made food and pouring cold drinks every night after dark. Come experience the best late night in the league any day of the week, only at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Chernak from Denver Regenerative Medicine. When it comes to healing, there's no one-size-fits-all. Every patient receives a unique treatment plan designed just for them. We use either your own stem cells or carefully selected donor cells to treat degenerative joints, torn muscles and ligaments, and even back injuries. Our goal is lasting healing without unnecessary surgery. And right now, we're offering 10% off treatments through October. Schedule your free consultation today at denverregen.com. That's denverregen.com.
Brandon Stokely here from my team, ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for winter? Worries you might need a new furnace? Don't know where to begin? Rocks Heating and Air makes it incredibly easy with their new, free, no obligation online heating and cooling quote. It takes less than 5 minutes and gives you options instantly. No calls, no waiting, and transparent pricing. Only at ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX, Rocks Heating and Air.
Okay, Michael. Any other questions about your Select Health insurance?
How much time do you have?
I have exactly as much time as you need.
Wonderful, because I have exactly 112 more questions.
112.
112.
112 it is. Let's do this.
Real people, real answers in real time. Select Health, insurance made simple. Learn more at selecthealth.org.
Samantha Flanagan here for Flanagan Law. Navigating personal injury claims on your own can feel like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. Don't let things fall apart. Protect your rights. Look for the Shamrock. Go with Flanagan Law. Online at flanagan.law.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage doors is what we do. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
For over 50 years, they redefined rock. The spirit lives on. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson celebrate 50 years of Rush 50-something tour. October 5th and 7th, Ball Arena. Pre-sale tickets for City Card members now through Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Before the general public on sale Friday, October 31st to 12 p.m. Get tickets at rush.com.
Your roof's the single most important part of your house. Snow and high winds can damage your roof. Don't trust your roof to any fly-by-night roofing companies. Call the professionals at Golden Spike for a free roof inspection and tell them you heard about it on The Fan. They're a locally owned company and a Team Dave Logan member.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix. 303-942-1386. Golden Spike Roofing.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Catch a ride with EV and Auto. Catch a ride.
Oh no, it's the attack of Zombie Auto.
Deals. Auto wants deals.
Well, good thing Foundation Chevrolet has the best deals during Truck Month. Like the all-new 2026 heavy-duty Chevy Silverado. Ready to haul tons of candy this Halloween season.
Auto loves deals.
Treat yourself to a tricked-out truck from Foundation Chevy. And together, let's drive.
Visit FoundationChevrolet.com and catch a ride.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Want to partake in our contests? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
On 104.3 HD3, TU Hockey skates with Boston College with pregame starting at 4:30. Tomorrow on The Fan, home of the Colorado State Rams. CSU football faces Wyoming with pregame starting at 4:30. Presented by Rocks Heating and Air. And on 104.3 HD3, TU Hockey skates with Northeastern with pregame starting at 4:30.
Open an account in less than 5 minutes. Visit WesteraCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Every day at 3:30, the drive comes off the top rope to hit you with a 1, 2, 3.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Denver.
Tape your wrists, stretch your spandex, and oil your hair. Here's Zach and Phil with today's 3 count on the drive.
All right, let's come up the top rope with it! 1! Was that long enough for you, Phillip Lindsay?
Zach usually holds it a little longer, but it was great.
You say that every time, unless you start pulling out a stopwatch. I think you're just gaslighting.
So this is his thing, his mindset. Every day it's a little longer. Monday, Tuesday,
once
Wednesday,
you get to Friday, he's like yodeling throughout it.
He said yodeling.
Hey, I respect it. All right, first in the 3 count. The Dodgers of Los Angeles and the Toronto Blue Jays are set to kick off the World Series later tonight. The Dodgers are favored in Game 1, and they are favored to win the entire series in 5 games. The favored outcome is a gentleman's sweep in the World Series. So if George Springer, Vladdy, and company can't keep up with all that firepower in LA, Phillip Lindsay, are we potentially looking at the World Series that will change the future of baseball forever? Because remember, you've got CBA discussions coming up in the very near future for Major League Baseball, and the concept of a potential salary cap is going to be front and center in those discussions.
I'll tell you this, Richie. If the Dodgers have a gentleman's sweep, which, I mean, it's more likely that it's going to happen. Now, I don't want to disrespect the Blue Jays. Toronto over there, it's going to be a tough team. But the firepower that the Dodgers have, and if they win that one, come on, man. You're going to have to start having conversations because you want to make it interesting. You want to make it more competitive. Now, my father-in-law is a diehard Dodger fan, and he would be telling me right now, well, Phil, all these other teams could have paid the players that the Dodgers acquired. They could have gave them the opportunities. The Angels could have paid Shohei, but they didn't. And I understand. Yeah, you're right. But for this game to be fair and everybody to be shooting at the same basket, you may have to go and have a cap.
DG, behind the glass, what are your thoughts on this World Series outcome and how it may impact the future of baseball?
I have no problem with how the Dodgers are running their organization.
Neither do I.
The only issue I have is the deferred money. I think that gets a little funny and funky with how that works.
$680 million payment coming for Shohei in 10 years.
Yeah, I think that's a little weird. I think they should definitely get rid of that. But I have no problem with how the Dodgers are running their organization. You know, they're going to, quote unquote, ruin baseball because they're a really well-run organization.
No, but don't you want it to be more competitive though?
It is competitive. The Dodgers have won. They've been spending a lot of money. Them and the Yankees and the Mets have spent a lot of money over the last decade, let's call it.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have won 2 World Series. One's a COVID one that a lot of people dismiss anyway. So I don't think it matters all that much. They're a really well-run organization. They're fundamentally sound. They play the game the right way. It's a really great product, and they're actually pretty likable players out there between Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and the other guys there. So I don't have any problem with the way they're run. I think we are headed towards maybe a lockout with that salary cap coming, but I don't think it's the Dodgers' fault. I think it's more teams like the Pirates' fault and teams, like the Marlins' fault that aren't willing to spend the money.
So much focus in these situations gets put on the need to cap the uber-rich ownership groups and teams in Major League Baseball from being able to just spend funny money to buy championships, players, etc. When the real factor, in my opinion, that would bring more competitive balance has to do with the spending floor of a salary cap negotiation more so than a cap limiting the rich. Because you're still going to have to spend money and make these players as highly paid or close to as highly paid as they currently are. It might change the economics of it and how many you can stack.
Yeah.
But the Rockies are not a salary cap away from becoming a competitive baseball team, and I think that's true for a handful of markets around the country.
1, 2.
Via Joel Klatt, our buddy that joins the morning show every week on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, we now have the biggest proposed college football playoff format to date, courtesy of his network, Fox Sports. Phil, check this out. Under this 24-team college football playoff, doubling it in
24.
size, the top 4 teams from each Power 4 conference would make the dance. That gives you 16.
All right.
Then you get the 2 highest seeded group of 6 teams because of the conference changes there. So this year that would be like Tulane and USF, South Florida. And then 6 wild card teams after that. So 6 at-large bids to cap out that 24. The top 8 seeds would get a first-round bye. The first 2 rounds would be played on campus, which part of me really loves. And you'd be adding essentially 12 more teams, but it would be 1 more weekend in totality of college football, bumping that bracket out 1 more section. Do you like the concept of 24 teams? Is 12 enough? And how close are we maybe to getting to a point where we just got to leave a good thing a little bit alone?
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about, where it's like when there's a good thing going, like leave it alone. But that's not the case right now in college football. It can always improve. And I do love that you have a 24-team playoff. Add those teams, make it a little bit more competitive, take away the conference championship. Let's take that away now. And then you go from there. I'm all for it. Let's make it like college. Let's make it like NFL. Let's make it like the Division II level, the playoffs. This is where it kind of originated from. And have these players just thinking about playoffs. Not about a conference championship, but about the playoffs. Get into the dance and try to win it all. So I like it. 24 teams. Let's do it.
Yeah, listen, I think you could deal with some expansion. They're going to have to be careful with how they do it, and I think the managing of the wild card bids would help with that. Minimizing the amount of Cinderella-like stories and group of 6, no disrespect, schools that you allow in there, because then you kind of get to a point where I feel like people think about wild card weekend in the NFL where they added a 7th seed to the playoffs, and 90+% of the time, the 7th seed just gets their doors blown off by the number 1 seed, and it's just not competitive or good football. The Broncos were on the wrong end of it against the Bills last postseason.
1, 2, 3!
The NFLPA announced that the NFL essentially brought down the hammer on the New York Football Giants organization.
The hammer down, huh?
With that interaction between Brian Daboll and Cam Scatterbo and Jackson Dart, who was in the infamous blue medical tent getting evaluated for a concussion in a game where he ultimately returned. And that's when Brian Daboll literally went up to the team doctor and was like, get his you-know-what back in this football game, because I would rather die than put Russell Wilson out there again as my starting quarterback. The New York Giants were assessed a $200,000 fine for violating NFL protocol.
That's it?
Surrounding concussions. Brian Daboll himself took a 6-figure haircut with a $100,000 personal fine.
Oh, that's it?
And Cam Scatterbo got docked 15 G's for conduct detrimental to the league. Cam Scatterbo was like the duckling following Mama Duck back there. He wasn't aggressively going to look for Jackson Dart. He was following his head coach, and he loses $15,000, which, because Cam Scatterbo was not a high draft pick, looking at his spot rack, doing some quick math during the break, I think he essentially lost almost a quarter of a game check just in that fine situation alone for being too close to the blue tent with his head coach.
And I don't think he could appeal that one. They've taken, the NFL has taken their time on this one right here, and for me, it needs to be a lot more serious. You have someone like Dre Greenlaw being suspended for talking to the refs. Now, we don't know what was said, but the ball is going to the medical tent where a player is being evaluated for a concussion, which, by the way, if you have too many concussions, you will be out of the league. You will have a hard time when football is over. And you're telling the doctor what to do, and he only gets a $200 or $100 slap on the wrist? Suspend him.
Cam Scatterbo is a better man than me, man. I'll tell you what, I got hit with a $15,000 fine, Phil. I might rig a poker game.
The Giant. Oh, it's too soon.
Bet on my under. If I get hit with a $15,000 fine, bet on all of my unders. I promise you. All right. Coming up next, the Colorado Buffaloes had some interesting news in their latest injury report that I think could be pointing and a concerning development to come. All of that coming up next.
Will Sean Payton mix more tempo into his offense? Can Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper slow down Dak Prescott? We'll react to it all in the Fan Football Postgame Show. Live on game day starting at the 2-minute warning. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Looking to sell your used Rolex watch? We buy and sell pre-owned Rolex watches, all styles from old to new. Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry. Bring in your Rolex watch and we will buy it on the spot. Matthews, located in Highlands Ranch, serving Colorado since 1951.
Brandon Stokely here from my friends at Roller Auction. Do you have items you're looking to sell? Since 1976, Roller Auction has been conducting commercial and industrial auctions for Colorado government agencies, Fortune 500 companies, small business owners, secured creditors, individuals, and more. They have a large marketplace to showcase your assets, so don't wait. Visit rollerauction.com for a free consultation and turn those items into some cold, hard cash. Again, go visit them at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
Join Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and Athletic at Mile High Station on Sunday, October 26th from noon to 2:25 p.m. for the Fan Football pregame show. Get your head in the game and enjoy orange and blue face painting and ice-cold Athletic. Athletic, all in, all game.
Today at Berg Simpson, we'll get a call from someone who needs our help. We'll learn about their loved one's injuries. We'll listen to their concerns, and we'll promise to fight for them. Then we'll use our resources and experience to deliver the best possible results we can for that client. So today, when that client calls Berg Simpson, we hope they feel they've done the best thing for their family.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here for 5280 Exteriors. Big deals on windows and siding. Order in October, finance with them, and pay nothing until November 2027. Be warm for the holidays. Call 5280 Exteriors. Low monthly payments. 5280 Exteriors. The altitude of quality.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This is Holly Robinson Pete for Eggland's Best. Eggs are a staple in our diet, and there's only one egg with more delicious, farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties, classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
How good does it feel to let go of 82 pounds in just 16 weeks? And I feel free. Soda Weight Loss is the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and results.
In 16 weeks, I lost 82 pounds because I had learned how to eat smarter. And that's what soda does. They don't just help you lose weight fast, they help you keep it off with habits that last a lifetime.
No hunger, no shots, no guesswork.
You probably saved my life. I mean, I was 30 pounds overweight. I went on soda, and now I'm healthy, and I just got off my blood pressure medicine and my cholesterol medicine, and that is amazing to me.
With Soda Weight Loss, you get real support to help you let go of the weight for good. And now, it's easier than ever. Join Soda Weight Loss now, and your partner joins for free. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Advent Health is Littleton's home for highly specialized, life-changing heart care. From preventive screenings to personalized treatment options, it's heartfelt care from expert hands. The Advent Health Heart and Vascular Institute is now open, ready to provide wholehearted care for your whole health.
Most business owners and decision makers work hard but stay frustrated because customers simply don't know they exist. Marketing isn't about being flashy. It's about making sure people understand how you solve their problem. Audio, video, and online campaigns put your message where your customers are already paying attention. And your friends at Denver Sports, they specialize in connecting customers to businesses. The moment you get clear and show up consistently, growth follows. Don't stay the best kept secret in town. Visit DenverSports.com DenverSports.com and click on the Advertise with Us button and start growing today.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss, presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
I have a confession to make, Phillip Lindsay. I got a little dizzy at the end of the last segment. I started envisioning what my life would be like if I got handed a $15,000 fine like Cam Scadaboo did for the blue tent debacle.
You'd be just fine.
You'd be just fine. I started thinking about rigging poker games and betting on my own unders and all that kind of stuff.
Richie, you're wearing a $5,000 suit. You would be just fine.
$5,000 suit. If this was if this suit was worth $5,000, I'd be naked in the studio right now because I would have already sold it to the highest bidder. We will get into the developing news coming out of Boulder with the Colorado Buffaloes in about 10 minutes from now. But in the meantime, our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss joins us, presented by Fitness Gallery. Mike, I think this is squaring up to be a pretty interesting matchup for the Denver Broncos, specifically because it kind of feels like good on good and average on kind of bad when we're talking about the Cowboys offense, one of the best in the league, against a Broncos defense that's certainly been their backbone and their strength. And for the Cowboys, Javonte Williams, the second act of Javonte in his first year with the Dallas Cowboys, has kind of taken the rushing landscape in the NFL by storm. How much game planning and thought process has gone into now facing Javonte Williams as he comes back to Denver for the first time since departing?
Well, I mean, nothing specific to Javonte other than he's a running back of the next opponent. You know, with the Cowboys, I think it's about their passing game with Dak. And sure, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, guys, getting to go order.
Oh, good.
The show kind of falls in the middle of a lot of happening things on Friday afternoons.
You're a hard man to track down, Mike. We appreciate every minute that you give us, whether you're in the drive-thru or not.
Yeah, but I don't think anything specific to Javonte. It's everyone to a man in the Broncos locker room is talking about how happy they are for him because he was such a great teammate. He was a friendly guy, smiled, didn't say much, never complained. If the hole wasn't there, he always said that it was up to him to find a hole. He wasn't effective with the Broncos the last couple of years. He is effective with the Cowboys.
And why do you think that is, Mike?
Schottenheimer deserves some credit for that, for the way he schemes the running game. And it also, I've seen him too, Phil. I don't know if you have, but it seems to me like he does have his legs back. It looks like he does have more of the burst he had his rookie year.
Definitely. I mean, he is skinnier, more explosive, and you're always better when you're 2 years removed from a knee injury. And so for Javonte, being as heavy as he is in a bruising running back, it takes time. Mike, moving forward with the Denver Broncos on Sean Payton, what are you expecting from Sean? Are you expecting Sean to continue to reduce the play calling sheet for Bo Nix, or do you expect Sean to open up and let Bo go?
I don't know. I'm not privy to that type of stuff, game planning. We all see the kind of the same stuff every week as far as the plays. Now I don't pay attention to all the formations and all the shifts, but they look like the same plays to me. And it's just a matter of whether these guys. It's the sequence of when you call the plays, and you catch the guys off guard. You do try to do some stuff with formations and shifts to have the defense look over here and make the play over there. And he's always done that. The the thing about the Broncos, they got to start fast. Yeah, that really matters unless it doesn't. Unless they do nothing for 3 quarters and then score 33 in the fourth quarter. They got to finish strong unless it doesn't. They have a nice first quarter against the Jets. They do nothing the rest of the game. It's just one of those things in the NFL. It's always something. There's always something wrong with your team. Every team out there has something wrong. Cowboys got a great offense. Great offense. All they're talking about in Dallas is how bad their defense is.
Literally the worst.
The Buffalo Bills, same thing. They got Josh Allen. They're supposed to win the Super Bowl. They got a terrible defense. So everyone's got something. The Broncos are pretty good, and so far they figured out how to score a couple more points than the other by the time the final gun sounds, except for twice when the final gun came a little bit too late.
Mike, this game against the Cowboys represents a little bit of hometown roots for one Marvin Mims, who grew up just a stone's throw away from the Dallas Cowboys facility. And Mims, I think, carrying over from last season, where it felt like on the back half of the year, his playmaking ability and potential from an offensive perspective got unlocked a little bit. He was taking the top off of defenses. He was kind of felt like he was used in that pseudo Joker type role before Sean Payton really went out and found somebody in free agency to try to fill that in a dedicated capacity. And it's kind of popped up again, Marvin obviously making the catch when he was intending to run a clear out that helped the Broncos complete their comeback victory over the Giants. We had so much conversation leading into the season about the number 2 wide receiver and who should it be, who will it be. Is it really gotten to a point for this offense that has sputtered and struggled the way that they have to just put the emphasis on getting the ball in their playmakers' hands, their best playmakers, which on this team includes Marvin Mims?
Yeah, Marvin is he's more of a quadruple threat this year than he has been his previous 2 years. He obviously added that rush threat last year. This year his numbers are up, except for in the return game where he's got more returns, far more returns, but the average is down a little bit. But his receiving numbers, he made 2 great catches in that fourth quarter. One, that 3rd and 10 back shoulder where he out-wrestled Phillips, a contested catch there. That's one of the – there were, about 8 huge plays where if they don't happen, the Broncos don't win the game. 8 huge plays, and that was one of them. Marvin going back shoulder on the right sideline on the 3rd and 10 for a 32-yard gain. And then, the accidental catch, the accidental reception on the final drive with 33 seconds left, where Bo overthrows Cortland Sutton, and Mims is in the area and just puts on the brakes and squats down, and the ball lands in his gut for a 29-yard gain. So, he, and I do think they get the ball in the more often in the speed hands. The only guy they're not really getting the ball to is R.J. Harvey much. They're off and on with Evan Ingram. But there's been way more to Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims this year. And, the Broncos are creeping up. They're 11th now in total offense. They were 10th last year. So, of course, that fourth quarter did a lot for them. And they're scoring. They're starting to inch up. I think they're like 17th in scoring now. So let's see where they're at in a couple more weeks. But this week, the all signs point to, like you said, the good on good, not so good against not so good. Broncos are going to have to score to win this game.
Yep, there is no doubt about it. That will be the offense's biggest task, is trying to pull the same weight that Jonathan Cooper and others thanked them for in the fourth quarter of the Giants game, but start pulling that rope maybe in quarter 1 instead of quarter 4. Mike, thank you so much for everything that you do covering the Broncos for us at 9 News and as our Broncos Insider presented by Fitness Gallery. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, have a good Friday, guys.
You got it. That is Mike Kliss, our 9 News Broncos Insider presented by Fitness Gallery. They sell the world's finest fitness equipment. All right. The Colorado Buffaloes released some very intriguing news, specifically related to their injury report, and I will ask our resident Buffalo what he makes of it coming up next.
The Broncos will look to add a little more mile-high magic against Dallas. Kick your football Sunday off in style with Denver Game Day, powered by Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Live on Game Day starting at 10 a.m. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey guys, boy Stink here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if he can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Fall means football, and at Postman Law, we know winning matters. Our attorneys have won more than $3 billion for our clients, delivering the results they need when life gets tough. Car crash, workplace injury, serious accident. We know the insurance company's playbook, and we're here to help rewrite it for you with speed, ease, and results. Call 844-POSTMAN or visit postmanlaw.com. Others promise. Postman delivers. This is attorney advertising.
Hey, Stokely here, and let me tell you, fall golf is the best golf Colorado has to offer, and it's not too late to get fully dialed in for the last few months of the season. At Embers Golf in Westminster, they're not just selling golf clubs, they're crafting a journey for golf lovers like you. It's a boutique-style shop, family-owned, with 2 hitting bays, all the major brands, and fully upgraded custom shafts. Come in for a full bag fitting. Trust me, there's nothing else like it around. Embers Golf, where your golf journey begins.
Another summer has ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the latest looks all for under $30. With new arrivals every day, you never know what you'll find. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Fitness Gallery, selling the world's finest fitness equipment.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
On 104.3 HD3, TU Hockey skates with Boston College with pregame starting at 4:30. Tomorrow on The Fan, home of the Colorado State Rams. CSU football faces Wyoming with pregame starting at 4:30. Presented by Rocks Heating and Air. And on 104.3 HD3, TU Hockey skates with Northeastern with pregame starting at 4:30.
Open an account in less than 5 minutes. Visit WesteraCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
The Fan Flyaway is back, thanks to our buddy Dan Jacobs and 303 Law 4040. This time, we're sending one lucky listener and a guest to Phoenix in February for the biggest party in golf. Here's what you get. 2 tickets to Saturday's round at TPC Scottsdale. Round-trip airfare for 2 from Denver. 2 nights hotel stay. And how about $500 as a little sprinkle on top there?
You gotta love it.
For more information and to register, head to thefanflyaway.com. If you've entered one of our previous flyaway contests, you're already registered for this one. Once you sign up for one flyaway, you're entered for all future flyaways.
You should say like all eternity.
For all eternity. Phil, we got a little bit of news coming out of Boulder about the Colorado Buffaloes ahead of this game against Utah that they've been preparing for 2 weeks now, coming out of their bye. And one development on the injury front I think was interesting and a positive. And another one had me kind of thinking, what does that mean?
So let's go with the positive one first then.
All right. Well, the Colorado Buffaloes posted their pregame injury report late last night ahead of their trip to Salt Lake City. And despite being one of the more injured teams in the Big 12, it does look like they're going to get a playmaker back in Draylon Miller.
Good.
His name disappeared off of the injury report. He's been out since the game against TCU, where he discovered an injury that we still don't know the full extent of.
No, that's a great sign for the Buffs. You're getting back a weapon that you're going to use in Wildcat, that you're going to use all over the field. He's going to open up the field for you, give you another running back if you need him to play running back, and then also a weapon on the outside as a receiver. So it's good that we're getting him back in action. And so now for someone like Payton Salter, use him, utilize him. Coach Prime, utilize your weapon so that you can beat Utah, which is going to be a tough task to do.
Yep. We just talked to Mike Kliss, our 9 News Broncos insider, last segment about Marvin Mims, and he called him a quadruple threat, right? Because he's in the punt return game, he's in the kick return game, he can be used as an extension of the run game, he's obviously a wide receiver. Well, Draylon Miller might not be a quadruple threat, but the fact that he plays in the backfield as a running back, can move around as a wide receiver, and can be back in the lineup against a Utah team that is significantly better, in my opinion, than they were last year when the Buffs blew the doors off. I think that can only be a positive to add playmakers around Payton Salter. You ready for the one that's got my eyebrow raised a little bit?
Yeah, what's going on, Richie? Like, what's going on in that thick head of yours?
Well, DeKalen Taylor, fellow running back for the Colorado Buffaloes.
Punt returner as well.
His status went from out to exempt in the last 2 injury reports. So he was out, held out of practice with an out designation, and now he is listed as exempt. So still out, but for a different and excusable reason.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is, was he one of the players that didn't come back on time, and he was maybe was going to play this game? And I know he's been hurt with the ankle, but maybe he didn't come back in time on that Sunday that Coach Prime was talking about. There's a couple players that will not be playing or won't play early because they did not show up on Sunday, the day before they come back and start practicing again. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
It could be.
But then the next thing that comes to my mind, Richie Rich, is he's young. He's only played in 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time where a lot of the players either say, hey, look, I know I'm not going to be here next year and I want to transfer out. Or, hey, look, I want to play a full season. I'm not going to play a full season this year. I still have my red shirt. Let me red shirt.
Yeah.
Are you going that route?
That was where my brain first win.
All right, you're a smart guy, so I'm going to go with you. Okay, it's cool.
Yep, DeKalen Taylor's been out for even longer than Draylon Miller. He last played in Week 4 against Wyoming, which puts him in that eligibility window. If he wanted to salvage a redshirt season, he is within the window of opportunity from playing time perspective to do that. Obviously, for the Colorado Buffaloes, who need just about every bounce, every stroke of luck, every talented skill position player and otherwise that they can get to be able to keep moving this season in a positive direction, that's not the best news or thing to ponder for the program. But Phil, as a former college running back yourself, and as somebody who witnessed programs at a high and at a low when you were at the University of Colorado.
Very low.
Take me inside the mind of a guy like DeKalen Taylor and maybe some of the rationale behind what he's choosing and maybe what you think he might do given this little breadcrumb of an inkling that we got with an exempt status from today's practice.
Yeah, I mean, so what my guessing is like he wanted to be the starting running back. He was shining during camp. That wasn't the case comes week 1. He's a punt returner. He's still getting involved, and he's really a really good weapon out of the backfield. He's a threat out of the backfield. As time goes on in the NFL, you want to be able to catch out of the backfield and be that threat. You're going to stay around a lot longer doing that job. So what my thought process is for this young man is he's not having a full year now that because he's hurt. He wants to be a starting running back. Maybe he wants another year in the system. Maybe he wants another year to get stronger, bigger, faster for himself. He has this opportunity right in front of him to have played in 4 games, but yet can redshirt and have a full year of eligibility next year. So that's where his thought process maybe is going. For me, I'm glad that I redshirted. My freshman year, I blew my knee out and I was not ready to play. I thought I was. I was upset. I was a $150 going into college with a messed up knee. Now, I took that redshirt year and I used it as fuel. I was mad that I wasn't playing, so what I told myself was, hey, I'm going to go out there every practice and make the team look stupid. And while I was doing that, I was getting better. I was getting stronger. My knee was getting stronger. But also I gave myself an opportunity to be a college student, to go out there and party, to go out there and get my schooling in. That's something that I got to focus on. And a lot of these players are not getting that opportunity. And maybe someone like DeKalen Taylor is saying, you know what? I've been out. I've been working on my school. I know that I need to get better as not just a football player, but as a student athlete. And I have an opportunity in front of me to do that and come back stronger next year and maybe even be in the starting running back.
If you had to put a gut check on it right now, not reporting anything, purely speculation, all of that, does your gut tell you with this little breadcrumb here that DeKalen Taylor is on the left side of this fork in the road saying, hey, I have been out, I'm missing the time, I want to recharge, recuperate, salvage my year of eligibility, and come back as a Colorado Buffalo next year and compete or overtake the starting running back position? Or is this going to be a situation where when that portal opens in January, we're going to see an outbound name and designation next to DeKalen Taylor?
I want to say he's going to redshirt and want to come back and be a buff. But with the structure of how college football is now and how people are just jumping into the portal, and he has already jumped into the portal one time, and that's how he became a Colorado Buffalo, I can see a situation where he redshirts and takes his talent somewhere else. And maybe Coach Prime's okay with it. You know, like the transfer portal is going to be open. There's going to be a lot of players coming and going. We actually we heard and actually saw what Coach Prime did during the bye week for the players that he knows is getting ready to jump ship. The players
scrimmage.
Yeah, he had a transfer portal scrimmage where there was a bunch of players that he felt like were not going to be here next year, and he's giving them film and he's going to shoot it out to coaches. It's a practice, but it's a scrimmage within this practice with the players that probably are not going to be here next year, which is very smart to do and kind of Coach Prime to do for some of these players.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Had never thought of that, had never seen that before, obviously, and kind of a nice feather in the cap for a guy like Coach Prime, the self-proclaimed transfer portal king, who could maybe see his kingdom a little bit more empty with DeKalen Taylor's most recent designation. We will see how it pans out beyond this weekend's game against Utah. But coming up next, there is a matchup within this Broncos-Cowboys game that may very well tip the scale and decide which team walks away a winner on Sunday. We'll dissect that matchup coming up next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
The cost of everything is still out of control, and many of us are relying on credit cards to cover essentials. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. Americans collectively owe over $1 trillion in credit card debt. You might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. Well, there's good news. They've created a smart equity loan, a solution designed to help you take control of your finances without touching your current mortgage. Unlike a HELOC, which can have varied interest rates, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate. That means one predictable monthly payment, giving you peace of mind. This loan allows you to leverage the equity in your home to pay off high interest debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your existing low mortgage rate intact. It only takes 10 minutes to get started with no upfront or hidden fees. Call American Financing today and start saving now at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Samantha Flanagan here for Flanagan Law. Navigating personal injury claims on your own can feel like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. Don't let things fall apart. Protect your rights. Look for the Shamrock. Go with Flanagan Law. Online at flanagan.law.
Select Health, how can we help?
Representative.
I'm ready to answer any questions you have.
Representative.
I'm Sam.
Representative.
It sounds like you said representative. One moment. Select Health, how can we help?
Finally. Hi, I have a question on copays.
I can help with that.
Real people, real answers in real time. Select Health, insurance made simple. Learn more at selecthealth.org.
Stokely here from my friends at 5280 Waste Solutions of Denver. Unhappy with your home or business trash and recycling service? Need a temporary dumpster for a project? Call 5280 Waste Solutions at 303-529-2329. Colorado isn't just where they work, it's home. They guarantee swift, on-time pickup for residential and commercial customers. Make the switch and get reliable local service you can count on. Go to 5280waste.com. 5280 Waste Solutions, your hometown brand.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Looking to sell your used Rolex watch? We buy and sell pre-owned Rolex watches. All styles, from old to new. Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthew's Fine Watches and Jewelry. Bring in your Rolex watch and we will buy it on the spot. No shipping your watch off to the internet site and waiting to get a check. Bring your used Rolex into Matthews. We have been servicing Colorado since 1951. Located in the Highlands Ranch Town Center. Matthews, we buy, sell, and service Rolex watches.
Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry, located in the Highlands Ranch Town Center or online at MatthewsFineWatches.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's back. Football is back, Broncos country, which means summer is almost over. And that means it's time for game days. Whether you're heading to Empower Field or traveling to Boulder to cheer on Coach Prime and the Buffs, you got to get there in style and on time. So let my friends at Hermes Worldwide handle the traffic and parking, and you handle the rest, which means have as much fun as possible and make as many memories as you can. So let Hermes Worldwide get you to and from the game safe. All you need to do is call Hermes Worldwide at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports to book your next ride today.
Advent Health is Littleton's home for highly specialized, life-changing heart care. From preventive screenings to personalized treatment options, it's heartfelt care from expert hands. The Advent Health Heart and Vascular Institute is now open, ready to provide wholehearted care for your whole health.
Joel Klatt, the nation's leading voice in college football, joins Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth every Wednesday morning. Presented by Groove Toyota. Here we go! Tune in at 8:10 for exclusive insight, bold analysis, and maybe just a hint of shenanigans. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
There is one matchup in this Dallas Cowboys Denver Broncos game scheduled for Sunday at 2:25.
On the dot.
On the dot.
This is not hockey where it's like, hey, it's a 8 o'clock puck drop and you go 8:30.
Yeah,
8:15.
I'm having to
Come on.
shotgun a Red Bull just to get through the overtime period. Phil, I think there's plenty of matchups one-on-one or position on position that I think you could isolate for this. I've settled on one that I think could have kind of a sneaky underrated push, positively or negatively, on the outcome of this game. I'm not talking about CeeDee Lamb and Patrick Surtain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even talking about offensive tackles versus Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito, or, Zach Allen and the defensive front against Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
If there was one matchup that's making me kind of toss and turn, fair or otherwise, in this game, I'm kind of worried that we might be pulling our hair out a little bit with George Pickens lining up opposite of Riley Moss. And that's not to say that Riley Moss has been a bad cornerback.
Well, what are you saying there, Richie? Because everybody out there is praising Riley.
I think Riley's got a tough job. And I think that amplifies, one, the amount of eyeballs on him. When you're playing opposite the reigning defensive player of the year,
more opportunities are coming your way.
You're getting more looks just based on the guys not wanting to throw to the guy playing opposite of you. But a lot of the fear actually has nothing to do with Riley, who I think has played pretty well for big portions of the season. But when he has faltered, boy, has it been loud and big. It's like, oh, there's a DPI penalty with less than a minute left that sets the Giants up to win a game.
That was a bad call.
Was a bad call.
To be fair,
he had his head turned around. He played the ball.
Yeah,
he was in good
perfect.
position.
That was perfect position.
And it's already hard enough to play defensive back in the NFL. And that's why I think you get this weird split where, like, Pro Football Focus, ESPN, analytically, you look at Riley Moss and he's one of the better coverage corners in the NFL. But when your eyes sometimes are on Riley Moss, you go, oh, that didn't look good. So it's kind of this weird split. Has nothing to do with Riley Moss, why I'm isolating this. It actually has everything to do with George Pickens.
Hold on, Richie.
Phil.
Hold on, Richie, before you start. I knew you were going to say something like that. So you're going with the, hey, it's not you, it's me scenario where you're breaking up with a girl and you're like, hey, look, it's not you. It's me.
Yeah,
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready for a relationship.
So what
right
you're
now.
saying, it's not Riley
I'm working on
Moss's-
myself.
This is not Riley Moss's fault. This is
Not
George
necessarily.
Pickens.
Not necessarily. Now Riley Moss has given up some. Riley Moss has given up some big plays, and again, we talked about why that can come to be the case when you're in Riley's position.
Yeah.
But George Pickens is playing like a wide receiver 1 as the number 2 option for the Dallas Cowboys. Do you know where George Pickens ranks among receiving leaders in the NFL right now?
Let me just take a guess. I'm gonna say 12.
Phil, he's 4th.
Is he 4th?
He is 4th in the NFL.
Well, I'm thinking of CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb's
He's
been hurt.
hurt. Yeah. So he is 4th in the NFL in receiving yards. It goes JSN, number 1. He's got 50 catches, 820 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, below that, at 629 and 5 touchdowns. Then Puka Nacua, and then George Pickens. George Pickens is 22 yards away from being the second leading receiver in football. And given the fact that he averages about 17, 18 yards a catch, he's 1 catch away from being the second best receiver in the National Football League through 7 weeks.
All right, Richie. So if that is the case, which it is, George Pickens is having a phenomenal start to a season. Why are we comparing George and Riley? Why are we not saying, hey,
you think
PS2 is going to be on?
George Pickens is going to be on PS2?
I'm asking you. Like,
No.
should that be the case? Like, you just put the stats out there.
Because CeeDee Lamb's a bad boy.
But
Phil.
CeeDee Lamb also is coming off of an injury.
But did you see what he did in his last game back?
Oh yeah. But to me, it's like this is where stats can kind of fool you, because George Pickens he is a receiver 1 somewhere else, not with the Dallas Cowboys, because CeeDee Lamb is sitting there.
5 receptions, 110 yards, and a touchdown for CeeDee in his game back. CeeDee Lamb is a tier 1 wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, you're talking Puka Nacua, CeeDee Lamb, JSN, and then Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
But
kinda
because
right there.
they have 2 receiver 1s out there, Richie.
Yeah.
Do you believe that PS2 will be following CD, or do you think it's going to be a situation where, hey, stay on your side, do your part? It's too much. CeeDee Lamb's a guy that likes to motion a bunch. He'll be put in the slot, so he's been moving all around the field. And so maybe it's easier as a defense just to play your side of the field so that you can kind of concentrate and know who you have or the zone that you have to
Listen,
take up.
I'm sure there will be some crossover at some point, but I would imagine the majority of the coverage snaps for Riley Moss, when you're talking about CeeDee Lamb versus George Pickens, will come on George Pickens, which leads me, Phil, to ask you to fill in the blank, presented by Williams Jewelers.
I love it.
Sitting here now on Friday, October 24th at 4:23 p.m., you feel blank about Riley Moss lining up opposite of George Pickens on Sunday.
I feel a little bit nervous going into this game with Riley Moss going up against George Pickens. Here's why. George Pickens has been elite so far. You have Dak Prescott playing at an elite level as well. He's getting all the receivers involved, and it's not just CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. It's Jake Ferguson as well.
Oh,
so
he's going to be a handful in his own right.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it's hard to get a beat on this team, and it's going to be hard because now Riley Moss, it has no choice but to be put on this island, because now you're having to have somebody come into the box, a safety, a nickel, to account for Jake Ferguson, that now Riley Moss is on this island by himself. Riley Moss has given up chunk plays. Yes, you look at the stats, you look at PFF, which, by the way, people are kind of talking about PFF because you had Geno Smith in front of Patrick Mahomes last week when it comes to QBR.
And the Chiefs won by 30.
Yeah, come on, what are we doing? But when you look at these stats, it's like, oh, Riley is doing a great job. The coaching staff is saying Riley is doing a great job. But what my eyes are saying is, yes, Riley is in places. He's in position, and he's doing a good job. But there are times where Riley looks up and he's being beat off the line of scrimmage. He's always playing catch up. When you have a really good receiver with like George Pickens that gets off the line on you, you're not going to catch up to this man. So Riley is going to have to play a fundamentally sound game and understand that he's going to have to be physical, but also rely on his technique, rely on his eyes. Do not be fooled by the double moves. And this is where the pass rush comes to play. Riley Moss will have success as long as Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito can get after Dak Prescott, force Dak Prescott to feel uneasy, and now you don't set up for those double moves, because that's where George Pickens is making his money. Those double moves, the offensive line holding up long enough.
Extending time in the pocket.
Extending time, exactly. So for Riley Moss, I'm a little nervous going into this game because they are going to pick on Riley early and often.
I am too. Nervous is probably the one word And I'm proud of you because you started by
There we
saying
go.
5 words when I said fill in the blank. And I know in the past when I've asked you to give me one word to describe this, you give me like a half paragraph essay. So nervous, we're going to isolate that as your one word to
There
fill
you
in the
go.
blank, presented by Williams Jewelers.
What I said, I'm feeling nervous.
You said I'm feeling a little bit nervous right now, but I'm also thinking that this and
Well, I have to go into detail, Richie. I can't just say nervous and there we go. I had to say a little nervous, and when I feel that way, that's the one word, nervous. You're right.
All right. Nervous, and I will co-sign Phillip Lindsay on that regard. Coming up next, we will dissect and relive, just close our eyes and bask in the glory that was Aaron Gordon's historic performance in the season opener for the Denver Nuggets. That's next.
Can J.K. Dobbins take advantage of a poor rushing defense? Will Javonte Williams get a revenge game against his former team? We'll break it all down in the Fan Football Pregame Show, live on game day starting at noon. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, guys? Phillip Lindsay here. I want to tell you about my new obsession, and that's with Daisy's French Onion Dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching any big-time game. And now that Daisy's has come out with a delicious Daisy French Onion Dip, along with the Daisy Ranch Dip, these are definitely game changers that you're not going to want to miss out on. They're as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients that you can find in your own kitchen. So if you want to be blown away like I was, then you need to give Daisy's French Onion Dip a try today. You can find Daisy's French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Don't miss Colorado football's 2 remaining home games of the 2025 season. Celebrate homecoming with the Buffaloes as CU faces the Arizona Wildcats on Saturday, November 1st. Then lock in your seats for Senior Day against the reigning Big 12 champs, Arizona State, on November 22nd. Great seats are still available at beautiful Folsom Field. Visit cubus.com/tickets or call 303-492-8282 and be there as Ralphie 7 leads the charge for your Colorado Buffaloes.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto-pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
You could save thousands of dollars on the products your business uses the most with the Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred Pricing. Registering is free and easy. Just have your tax ID or business or contractor's license ready. But don't wait. The current preferred pricing benefit will end on November 15th. Visit your local Pro Desk to register now and unlock the deepest savings on the products you choose.
Your roof's the single most important part of your house. Snow and high winds can damage your roof. Don't trust your roof to any fly-by-night roofing companies. Call the professionals at Golden Spike for a free roof inspection and tell them you heard about it on The Fan. They're a locally owned company and a Team Dave Logan member.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix. 303-942-1386. Golden Spike Roofing.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Peyton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. Let's talk about your hair. If you're losing it and desire it back, then do what I did and go see Dr. Tanya Pauls at Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can personally attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Pauls, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation today. Call 720-459-HAIR and you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. That's 720-459-HAIR. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver, and they've changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. Become inspired with the before and afters at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
The fan flyaway is back thanks to 303 Law 4040. And this time we're sending one lucky listener and a guest to Phoenix in February for the biggest party in golf.
Biggest and the baddest.
Here's what you get. 2 tickets to Saturday's round at TPC Scottsdale. Round trip airfare for 2 from Denver. 2 nights hotel stay and $500 in spending money.
Richie, you can't make this up.
You literally can't. Listen, I still remember it's one of my favorite fan flyaways or contests we've ever done on the station when we sent everybody to the Super Bowl in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And you said something that I have felt about basically every fan flyaway. You were like, I'm going to steal this prize. Whoever wins this, like, I'm going to steal it. And I feel this way about every single prize, including this one. This particular golf event, which I think you know what we're talking about, in Arizona, is on a bucket list for me to go see this. So you can go see it too. For more information, and to register, head to thefanflyaway.com. And if you've entered one of our previous flyaway contests, good luck. You're already registered for this one. Once you sign up for one flyaway, you're entered for all future flyaways. All right, Phil.
All eternity.
All eternity.
That's what we're doing.
And then some. We witnessed last night when the Denver Nuggets ultimately lost to the Golden State Warriors, 137-131 in overtime.
I can't believe it, man.
We witnessed one of the best individual performances from one of the most important members of the Denver Nuggets, and that is Aaron Gordon, who outshined the Joker, who himself joined Oscar Robertson in a tie for the most season-opening triple-doubles in a career with 4. But Joker was not the star for once. In fact, Aaron Gordon had a Joker-like night in which he did something that statistically is at least improbable, and yet it didn't help the Nuggets win a game. He drops a 50-burger with 8 rebounds and 2 assists on 10 of 11 three-point shooting.
Well, see, that's where you have to stop right there and admire what AG is doing. Already the first game, starting where he left off, dominating from the three-point line. You can't make this up. Aaron Gordon, like, when he was coming out of college and in the league, nobody thought of him as a three-point shooter. As he gotten older, the athletic ability starts to leave your body. We know that. AG started to rearrange his game, started to really focus on the three-point shooting. Last year, it showed up, and it was very impressive. The first game this year, you go 10 of 11 from the three-point line, 50 points. We're not talking about Jokic. We're talking about Aaron Gordon. That was insane to watch, and it's fun to watch. Now, I don't believe it's sustainable.
No.
But for AG to do
I don't know that
that,
Aaron Gordon will ever score 50 points again in his career. I hope he does. But I legitimately think we may have just watched the best game from a scoring perspective of Aaron Gordon's career, and I don't know how often he will cross that threshold going forward. Mainly, Phil, because, again, he's not supposed to be the number one option on this Nuggets team, and that's something that I give Aaron Gordon so much credit for as a player, as a man, and as a member of this Nuggets organization, because when you look at, you mentioned early in his career, right? He's a highly touted draft pick, a freak of nature athlete that goes to a bad team in the Orlando Magic. And he is the number one scoring option. He is a high-flying machine that lives above the rim and jumps out of the gym. Then he gets into his mid-20s. He comes here to Denver in what I think is the best trade in the history of the Denver Nuggets because of what it helped lead to.
Look what it looks like today.
And he completely accepts a different mentality. He was who he was in Orlando on a bad team that was going nowhere with him on it. He comes to Denver, a team that's on the come-up with the greatest basketball player on the planet in Jokic, and he signs a paper that basically signs him up to say, okay, you want me to put on a hard hat, bring a lunch pail every day? I'm going to lace up. I'm going to guard who you want me to guard. I'm going to be who you want me to be. And
I'm going to star in my role.
If that changes quarter to quarter, fine. Game to game, fine. Playoffs versus regular season, you got it. And he did that over a course of a couple of years en route to an NBA championship, the first in franchise history. Now he's entering his 30s, and the Nuggets have already won a championship, and they're trying to get back. And they've reorchestrated this roster top to bottom, especially from a depth perspective. And Aaron Gordon, over the course of the last season and a half, 2 seasons or so, has improved as a shooter in a way that is, at a minimum, statistically improbable, with the increases that he's been able to make from a shooting percentage standpoint as a mid-range shooter, as an outside shooter, as a free throw shooter, all around. He has improved because he lives in a literal gym with a basketball court. Literally, not a joke.
If you don't know what Richie's talking about, he lives in a warehouse that he built into a basketball gym, like a little arena, and he sleeps in there. So my man wakes up, all right, uses the bathroom, doesn't brush his teeth probably, and goes and puts up 100 shots before he leaves out the door or before he brushes his teeth. Then he'll leave out the door to go and play more basketball. And it's showing, Richie. It's showing every single day. Last year, every game where you had Aaron Gordon shooting from the three-point line, looking smooth. The first game of the year, all right, the opening game for the Denver Nuggets, Aaron Gordon, 10 of 11 from the three-point line. You just can't make this stuff up, and it's fun to watch. And also, my man didn't even accept the game ball because they didn't win. That's not why he's here.
If that's not Aaron Gordon's identity and persona within the Nuggets organization and the impact that he has from a cultural footprint on this team, I don't know what is. He is the man who ran shirtless through the streets of downtown Denver after they won a title and celebrated with the city. He took on all those responsibilities, swallowed his own pride, changed his own game, and morphed into the player that he is today to help the Nuggets win something that many in Nuggets Nation thought may never happen in their lifetime. And now they've got a chance to do it again. And Aaron Gordon's kind of transformation into the player that we saw on the brightest stage last night in the season opener is going to be integral in making sure that they get back. All right, coming up next, we will dissect and dive into this Denver Broncos Dallas Cowboys matchup on Sunday with our resident Super Bowl 50 champion, Brandon Marshall. That's next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money, all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Zach here on behalf of the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, talking to you men out there about erectile dysfunction. Now, I know you hear the phrase ED, it might make you squirm in your seat a little bit, but what's more uncomfortable than hearing the phrase ED is actually living with it. All right, guys, the impact that it can have on your relationship, your intimacy, maybe your own self-confidence, and in some cases, your partner can begin to blame themselves. Do not let that happen. ED is a medical condition, and like most other medical conditions, it's treatable. And I'm talking about success rates at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic well over 90%. All right, they've served the Front Range of Colorado for nearly a decade. They're not new. They've successfully treated tens of thousands of men just like you, so you're not that special. ED is actually pretty common. So schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. The initial visit is just $99. That includes a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. If the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is on the house. They have an expert staff and 5 locations in Colorado to serve you. So stop living with ED. Call them 720-440-7900 or visit them online at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Whatever you're looking for when you head out into the wild, keep an open mind. Sometimes the real treasure is the journey itself. Sure enough, there's treasure out there. Sometimes it's something you didn't expect to find. And more often than not, it's as simple as the memories you make. Make some memories of your own with a new vehicle from Corwin Toyota. Family driven for over 100 years.
And Vintage Jewelry Trunk Show, October 23rd through 25th.
Come shop millions in estate, antique, pre-owned jewelry, and engagement rings that are precious, rare, and truly collectible.
Art Deco and Art Nouveau pieces, including signed Cartier, Van Cleef, Tiffany, David Webb, and many more.
If you're a jewelry collector, you just don't want to miss it.
Many of these finely crafted treasures could not be duplicated today. Most are handcrafted and one of a kind.
Williams Jewelers Annual Antique and Vintage Jewelry Trunk Show. 3 big days only, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, October 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
We're in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue between Fillmore and Detroit.
Williams Jewelers Antique and Vintage Jewelry Trunk Show.
It's Denver's estate jewelry event of the year.
Don't miss it.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue between Fillmore and Detroit, where Colorado shines.
Samantha Flanagan here for Flanagan Law. Navigating personal injury claims on your own can feel like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. Don't let things fall apart. Protect your rights. Look for the Shamrock. Go with Flanagan Law. Online at flanagan.law.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
I should have had Done Right do it. Don't be that person that says this after ordering your remodeling project. Hi folks, Dan Cicchini, owner of Done Right Kitchens and Baths, Windows and Doors. Simply put, we make people happy by being particular, just like you. 800-362-8370.
International Hot Rod Association and Durana Hybrid, where the roar of the engine meets the torque of the wrench. Building champions on the track and in the trades. Get your tickets at IHRA.com.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer, exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney, Tuesday afternoons on The Drive, and Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, all season long. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
The Denver Broncos defense is certainly going to have its hands full against the red-hot Dallas Cowboys offense this Sunday at Empower Field at Mile High. 2:25 kickoff on deck. To help take us inside the mind of an NFL defender, we welcome in our regular Friday guest and friend of the show, Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall, joining us now, presented by Corwin Toyota. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us once again. It was good to see you a couple of weeks ago out on location when we were out at Choppers. It was fun mixing it up with you and Zach and Phil. Richie Carney sitting in for Zach By. And I want to kick things off today, Brandon, by asking you about the tight end position. So Jake Ferguson for the Dallas Cowboys. No tight end in football has more receptions or touchdowns than Jake Ferguson. And that has been a position that the Broncos historically have struggled to carry. What makes it so difficult to cover tight ends in the modern NFL as they continue to get more athletic and used in all these different ways?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, these tight ends are, extremely tall. Right, you got tight ends that are 6'6", 6'5", ex-basketball players. Sometimes they're ex-receivers. They might have just ate themselves out of the receiver position, and they come down and they play tight end, and then they're extremely just basically playing basketball against the defender. And so being a linebacker, it is tough because these guys are quick and fast. You look at Travis Kelce when he was in his prime. Extremely tough to cover. Gronk was extremely big, but he was more so he'll try to box you out or he'll try to push off, right? You got the Antonio Gates, former basketball player, so there's a lot of guys that, are extremely hard to cover, extremely athletic, and that's what, these guys look for. The scouts look for ex-basketball players. They look for these tall tight ends that can run and that can jump and that can for sure catch.
B. Marsh, you've been with Vance Joseph on his defense and him as a defensive coordinator. VJ's going up against an offense that's ranked number 1 in total offense, ranked second in points per game, and then ranked second in passing yards per game. Going into this game, what should and will VJ do to stop this offense?
Yeah, I think you got to put pressure on Dak. We for sure have to stop the run. Javonte Williams, former Bronco, has been having a pretty good season so far, right? But right now, you got Dak Prescott who's playing MVP football. So, one thing that we have is we have a pass rush and we have a great secondary. So, obviously, we're going to have, Pat Surtain on CeeDee Lamb. Riley Moss has been playing well, so we're going to put him on George Pickens. I think we got to pressure. I think we got to make sure we pressure Dak Prescott, make him on his, really feel that rush. And we could do that with Nick Bonito, Cooper, and, I feel that we should play straight up initially, right, because we have to stop the run. So we don't need to throw a ton of pressures at him initially. We'll see how it goes. But let's just say, Dak is getting a little more time in the pocket than we would like. That's when we throw some pressure at him. Send Alex Singleton on the blitz. Send, Justin Chanel on the blitz. Send some stunts, some exits, some ETs and TEs. I know, that might not be a term that the audience knows, but that's an in and tackle switch as they're rushing the passer. But I really think that initially we would play straight up. But if things start to go awry, we got to put some pressure on that.
We're chatting with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall. And Brandon, as a member of that Super Bowl team, you were surrounded by some pretty prominent and strong personalities and characters, specifically on that defense. You had Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, Strap Harris, Derek Wolfe, Malik Jackson. The list goes on and on and on. We witnessed a situation last weekend against the Giants game where Dre Greenlaw, after just coming back in his first game of the NFL season, finds himself slapped with a one-game suspension because of an emotional reaction to referee Brad Allen. It looked like he maybe gave Justin Strnad a little bit of a bump there, and Greenlaw wasn't happy with what was done or what was said, and what happened there. And now Greenlaw will miss this game against the Cowboys. And there's been a lot of conversation about that. What was it like from your perspective to be smack dab in the middle of a defense like that, where you had so many aggressive, loud, and prominent personalities that were prone to penalties or actions that could potentially negatively impact the team, but also brought so much positivity with them as well?
I mean, if you look at any great team, they had a dog on that team, right? I mean, if you switch to basketball, right, the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, he's that dog for that team, right? You look at the Chicago Bulls back in the day, you know, they had a couple of dogs, but, you know, Dennis Rodman was the dog. So, you know, when you look at our Super Bowl team, you know, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, we had a lot of dogs on the team. And to be honest, I think that's what you need to set the tone. Right now, there's a time and a place because you definitely have to dial it back. You don't want to hurt the team. So him getting a one-game suspension, I don't think was warranted. But at the same time, right, you got to know, you know, what your restraints are. So we definitely can't sit there and attack the ref. But, I mean, Drake Greenlaw is a dog. So, you know, that's what you want in your team. And I don't have a real problem with it. The only problem I have is now that he's missing the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's big when you have one of your vocal leaders, a physical linebacker, and now he's missing the game after only playing in one game. But B. Marsh, my thing is we've been going back and forth here at the station, specifically at the beginning when we got here with Josh and Cecil, and you're going up against an offense that's potent. You're going against an offense that has two number one receivers in a run game. You're a linebacker. You're on the defense. You've been on a great defense. Going into a game like this, what should the mindset be? Is it more of a, hey, we need to stop the run? Or is it, hey, we got to stop the pass? Because, of course, you want to have your cake and eat it, too. That might not be the case. So what's more important to do, stopping the run or stopping that pass?
I mean, you have to stop the run, you know, because, you know, if you don't stop the run, if the team is able to bleed the clock and just slowly gouge you, play in and play out, that's going to hurt you even more, right? It's going to keep your offense off the field and on the bench even longer, which is a problem. So you definitely have to, you know, stop the run first, and then we got to play great pass defense. You know, I mean, that's what you pay Pat Surtain the big bucks for, right? That are, you know, playing extremely well and are paid well. So play in and play out, that's a terrible situation. So, you know, we're going to stop the run, and then we got to play good pass defense. When it's time to shine, you know, we got to show up.
Brandon, I hadn't had a chance to ask you, but I am curious to know, because I mentioned off the top you were in town for the anniversary of the Super Bowl 50 team and kind of commemorating that accomplishment, and you were watching the comeback by the Denver Broncos against the Dallas Cowboys, that wild fourth quarter unfold. What was the emotions and the experience of watching that game with so many of your former teammates from the first three quarters to how things completely flipped on their head in the fourth quarter?
Man, it was crazy. First of all, it was a lot of it was a lot of I'm just gonna say, you know, bad talking, because it was down 26-8. You know, it just wasn't a good game initially.
Right.
And then after they, you know, came back and they still believed, it was 5 minutes left in the game, and for them to score that many points and to put on the performance that they did with 5 minutes left to go in the game was nothing short of, I don't even know, it was a miracle, if I'm being honest with you, because, like, that's something that you never see. That's something that rarely ever happens. And for them to, you know, stay in it, and that lets you know the character of this team, right? Adversity doesn't always build character. It reveals character. Right now, does it build character or can it build character? Absolutely. but initially it reveals character. And I think what we've seen out of that Denver Bronco team is they have the fight that is necessary, and they have what it takes to come back and, to believe, and they have the mindset. And I think that's something that's cultivated, day in and day out at practice. So really excited, to, out of what I've seen in this Denver Broncos team. And it makes me think, hey, man, is this team championship caliber? Maybe.
We will see how much that mentality and that hunger and that aggression carries over into this Sunday's game against the Cowboys, where I believe with my whole heart that they are going to have their hands full, especially on the defensive side of the football. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us, as you do every Friday, and we will catch up with you again next week.
Thank you.
That is Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall, presented by Corwin Toyota Boulder. Family-driven for over 100 years. Well, Phil, it sounds like Brandon Marshall was in agreement with you and I and what we kind of laid out at the start of the show with Cecil and Josh, who were kind of seemingly more interested or worried about slowing down Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, where you and I kind of were on the same page to say the Dallas Cowboys offense might have a lot of high-flying playmakers out on the boundaries, and certainly a quarterback that's playing at maybe his highest level of his career. But their ability to control the line of scrimmage, work the clock, and sustain drives using Javonte Williams, which that's a sentence I never thought I would have uttered at this
he's doing
time
a great
last
job,
year.
though, man.
That's the key. Stopping Javonte Williams seems to be the key. Phil, would you go so far as to say if there's one Dallas Cowboy that can't beat the Denver Broncos, that the Denver Broncos cannot allow to go off on Sunday at 2:25, it's Javonte Williams?
Oh, for sure. 1,000% for sure. You cannot have Javonte Williams, who was a Denver Bronco, who a lot of people downed.
Me? I raised my hand.
Down, and okay, I understand why. But if he comes back to Denver and has a game where he goes over 100 yards and let's say 2 touchdowns and they win it, that's very disrespectful. Jerry Jeudy tried to do it to us. Almost got away with it.
He had if I'm not mistaken, he had the greatest statistical revenge game for a wide receiver in NFL history.
The only thing that the Cleveland Browns did not do and they continue to not do, win games. He did not win that game. But Jerry Jeudy did everything he could to make it hard for the Denver Broncos. We cannot let that happen with Javonte Williams. And also, you are right. There's nothing more demoralizing than the defense out there giving up the run. The defense out there just getting pushed around, and it's Javonte Williams and the Dallas Cowboys getting first downs after first downs by just handing the ball off because then it opens up the passes for them and Dak. So we have to stop the run. That should be the first mindset. Maybe adding a guy in the box just to stop the run, and then be very creative with your disguises when it comes to your defensive blitzes.
Demoralizing is the right word to use, because I think back with squinted eyes to watching the Colorado Buffaloes play the Kansas Jayhawks with everything in front of them to compete for a Big 12 title game, and Devin Neal just pounded the rock. I think he had 3 touchdowns.
And 300 yards?
It might have been.
Ooh.
Pounding the rock down Colorado's throat, and there's just nothing they could do. They had no answer for it. They couldn't get up off the mat. And then you have a situation like the Broncos found themselves in the wild card playoff round, riding the high of breaking a postseason drought and a winning season drought that had lasted almost a decade, and they go to Orchard Park, New York, to play Zach Bye's Buffalo Bills, and James Cook and Josh Allen just suffocate them.
They added
in
an
the run
extra
game.
lineman in there, put an extra lineman on the football field and just run it at you. We can't let the Dallas Cowboys do that because that's what they're going to want to do.
Yeah.
They're on the road.
And they've done it to almost every opponent on the schedule so far.
They want to quiet this crowd, and they want to make it hard on the defense, and they don't want the offense to get into any type of rhythm, especially when you have a bad defense. If you're Dallas, you're saying, hey, let's sustain drives. Let's keep our offense on the field and make sure our defense stays off the field because they're very bad. Like, that's how they're thinking, and we need to find ways to get the Dallas Cowboys offense off the field and put our offense on the field.
Phil, it's been 7 weeks of the NFL season, and Javonte Williams has 7 touchdowns on the year.
You can't make it up.
He has tied his career high from his days in Denver, which goes back to his rookie season in 2021. He is second in rushing yards in the National Football League with 592. Not Christian McCaffrey, he's 12th. Not Jahmyr Gibbs, he's 5th. Not Bijan Robinson, 6th. Derrick Henry, 15th. Or Saquon Barkley, 23rd. Hell, J.K. Dobbins, by the way, those last 2 names, who would have expected that? Derrick Henry, not a top 10 rusher.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, not a top 20 rusher. You even got J.K. Dobbins in 7th on this list. None of those guys can hold Javante's jock in the run game right now. It's crazy, dude. What are we talking about? We watched every game of football.
Fit, Richie, perfect fit and being healthy. Like 2 years removed from a knee injury is so significant in this situation with running backs because now you feel more like yourself. You feel more adjusted to your new knee. And losing the weight, having another team believe in you, maybe being a little bit more motivated, knowing that, hey, if I don't have a good year this year, I may not have a job again. You're a little bit more hungrier. And so Javonte Williams, like I said yesterday, he's doing a great job. And I'm proud that to see him out there doing it because there's so many people that were being mean to him and negative to him because he wasn't doing what he needed to do here. And now look what he's doing for Dallas. So for the defense, the Denver defense, they got to contain Javonte Williams. Crazy that we're talking about it, but if you want to win this game, you stop Dallas's run.
This is KKFN and KKFN HD1, Longmont, Denver. Woo! We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Richie Carney and Phillip Lindsay, and we are the Drive. Today, at least.
Oh, Richie, man.
Great stuff from Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall joining us about 15 minutes ago. If you didn't catch it live, certainly circle back on the Drive podcast at DenverSports.com or on our Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. You can also follow along with the show live and interact with us on our YouTube channel, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube. Shout out YouTube. We got the cameras. Always watching, by the way. I'm like focused on which way am I facing? How's my body positioning? Am I slouching over? Is my double chin
Richie,
in view of the camera?
When you're as good looking as me, you just do what you have to do. Just roll with the punches.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody. You got the $5,000 suit on.
That's right. See, you kind of cut me off there. I was going to make a joke, and then you gave me a compliment. I was going to be like, nobody can see your face anyways because the reflection off of your gold sparkly hat is blinding the camera lens.
So I was saying a nice gesture to
I know. You cut me off. I had a whole
me.
joke already in the holster, and then you're like, you look good today. And I'm like, oh, man.
Kill him with kindness.
It works. It's effective. We just saw it in real time. Phil, keeping the conversation rolling here as it relates to the Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys coming up this Sunday. We talked about it a little bit earlier with Mike Kliss, and I kind of am rationalizing it in my head in this way, Phil. Because of the strengths and weaknesses of each team, it feels like you're going to have good on good. You got the Cowboys offense, good.
Yep.
Really good. Best in the NFL in some categories. And the Broncos defense, which has been the strength of their team for about a season and a half now, for sure, and has the capability to get after the passer as good as any team in the NFL. Then you've got like the average at best to the just pretty damn bad.
I don't know. Would you say the offense is that even at average right now?
As I said, at best. I mean, you could call it bad on bad, and I'm not going to argue with you. Because the offense has played, out of the last 12 quarters of football, Phil, is it fair to say they've maybe played 3?
Yeah.
Decent, objectively decent quarters out of 12? So 9 bad?
Bad on bad.
Bad on bad. You got the Broncos offense who, outside of the final 14 minutes of a game, kind of don't seem like they're on the same page.
They need to come out to the bad, to the bones. Something.
Doing it, little George Thorogood.
Yeah.
But if there was ever a week for the Broncos, who spent the better part of the last 7 or 8 seasons being everybody else in the league's get-right game,
damn.
If there was ever,
hey,
listen, we got Bo Nix, here in Broncos country now, and there's a lot of hope and optimism about franchise quarterback Phil. But there were some dark days.
There
were some dark days in the late 2010s and early 2020s for your Denver Broncos. Okay.
Yeah, I live with them.
The Dallas Cowboys present that get right opportunity for this offense. They are the worst, the 32nd ranked total defense in the National Football League. They are a bottom 3 rush defense, averaging 140 yards given up on the ground per game. They are the 32nd ranked pass defense in the National Football League, and they allow 29.4 points per game, good for 30th in scoring defense.
Yeah, Richie, it's bad. It's bad for the Dallas's defense as of right now. It's just one of these games where you are right, where it should be a get right game. It should be where.
Damn, why are you doing them like that?
I'm just saying you should go out there and establish the run and have some rhythm in the pass game. But the reason why I keep on saying you should is we talked about this with the Jets. And the Jets were like 31st.
And it was the worst offensive game of the year.
Yeah. And so now I'm like, okay, yeah, of course. But also these are NFL teams. The Cowboys are 3-3-1 because they tied that game with Green Bay, which, by the way, we all think Green Bay is going to go to the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So the Dallas Cowboys are a tough team. Defense has been lacking. But for some odd reason, when bad defenses play against the Broncos offense, they shine. Mm-hmm. So we have to find a way. It's not us. We're sitting there. Sean Payton needs to find a way to get in some type of rhythm.
I ain't doing jack.
Oh,
I'm
no,
gonna sit and
I'm
watch.
going to critique. I'm going to sit there and critique and say, damn, I'm glad I'm not out there getting hit right now. But Sean's going to have to come up with a scheme that keeps the offense on the field long enough. Sustained drives. All right, find a way to get the run game going. The identity of this football team, Sean, I keep having to tell you this. You don't want to listen to me. You're being a meanie. You're being a meanie. Is running the football. That's the identity. Get J.K. Dobbins going. I put a little post out there on Instagram just like showing J.K. Dobbins run. And I stated, if we want to win this game, if the Denver Broncos want to win the game, J.K. Dobbins needs to be involved heavily. J.K. Dobbins needs to get at least 20 attempts. Let's let this man run. Let him open up. Let the offensive line, who you're paying a lot of money for, although you don't have Ben Powers there, let the offensive line get going. It's going to set up so much in the pass game. It's going to set up Bo Nix for more success. Take pressure off of Bo. Make it more third and manageable for your offense to sustain the drive. And this is why the identity of the team moving forward is running the ball and handing the ball off to J.K. Dobbins. You do that, we're going to be in great shape. J.K. will go for 100 yards, maybe a touchdown or two. That's what you want to do. And hey, you look up and Bo Nix is going to have chunk plays down the field to Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims because Dallas has to bring a guy into the box, and now they're one-on-one on the outsides.
Yeah, this Broncos offense on paper, Phil, if you were just looking at it on paper, you'd be like, okay, it can't be that bad. Can it? They are ranked 11th in total offense by yards per game at 347. They are the 6th best rushing offense in the NFL at about 132 yards per game. And they're a top 15 passing offense. So right in the middle in passing, top 5, top 6 in rushing. And they're 17th overall in scoring offense, averaging about 24 points per game. But you've watched the Denver Broncos offense.
Oh, yeah.
For all 7 games. Do they look like the 11th best total offense in the NFL?
Heck no, not right now. They look like a team that puts it on and turns it on in the fourth quarter and is able to have a bunch of fourth quarter miracle comebacks. But a team that's out there just putting drives together every time they step foot on that football field, that's not what the Denver Broncos offense looks like. They have to find a way to get in some type of rhythm, and it starts with Sean Payton and Bo Nix. What does that look like? It starts with Sean Payton's first 15. I don't want to see 3 passes in a row, Richie. I'm tired of seeing that. I'd rather see 3 runs in a row. How about this, right? I'm going to put the first 3 plays together for you. You're going to run the ball with J.K. Dobbins on first down. He's going to pick up 5.
Shocking.
All right. You're going to run the ball again. All right. With J.K., put a puller in front of him. He's going to pick up 6. You're going to get a first down after the second run.
Inspired.
That third run, that third play, you're going to run the ball again. You're going to pick up 3 or 4 because the defense is going to know you're going to try to run it. You're going to set yourself up for 2nd and 6. Now you can do play action. Now it's more 2nd and manageable, 3rd and manageable if you don't get the first down. All right, you do play action. You hit Evan Ingram for 5-6 yards. You move the chains. There you go. You got your two first downs of the game, and now you can get in some type of rhythm, stay on the football field, and try to find a way to get points. It's not going to always be touchdowns, but we need to find ways to get field goals if we can't get touchdowns because it's going to add up for you, and it gives the defense to latch onto something, some type of hope of like, hey, we do know that our offense can score points. Not always touchdowns, but some type of points, so let's continue to do our part.
Yeah, you want to walk away from every scoring drive as an offense with a touchdown, obviously.
I just solved the game plan right there, Richie.
Revolutionary stuff.
There we go.
Revolutionary stuff. Sean Payton, if you're listening, which, as we've heard from little tweet birdies, that you do, follow Phillip Lindsay's advice here. Commit to and find a way to execute running the football early and often and make your job, your day, and your team's lives easier when halftime ends, you got the third quarter rolling into the fourth quarter, so that for like a fourth consecutive week, you're not going into a fourth quarter, pulling your hair out and wondering if there's some rabbit coming out of a hat that we can pull to have a miraculous comeback that helps us maintain first place in sole ownership in the AFC West.
Well, Richie, and Broncos country is losing their patience when it comes to the offense. They're losing their patience because they can't see another 3 and out. If we go 3 and out, our first possession, let's just say Dallas wins the toss and they choose to defer, which is probably going to happen. They choose to defer. We're on the football field first. We go 3 and out. There's going to be a bunch of boos coming from them stands, as it should be, because we expect more. We expect this team to be going in the right direction because, hey, we all have aspirations to get back to the playoffs and see our team back in the playoffs. We all have aspirations of seeing Bo Nix hold up a Super Bowl trophy. How do you do that? The offense has to stay on the dang field. So I'm just saying that we have to sustain drives and run the ball.
It's fair to say we've seen Sean Payton flop it out there on the table, or maybe shake a stick around like he likes to do at some point, right? Like he started a half of a Super Bowl with an onside kick. He did that here in Denver. I believe it was against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he start with an onside kick in one of his first games here? He's not immune to maybe doing something that is conventionally not the normal practice because he's kind of confident and has some cocky swagger ability to him. What would you say if we're talking about the Denver Broncos embracing their identity and what it should be, which is a run-first team that leans on their defense and puts them in a position to be able to control the line of scrimmage and control the clock during games to set up the play action?
Yes, that's beautiful. The Denver Broncos identify offensively as a running team.
Yep. What would you say if, as a part of pushing the throttle all the way forward and jumping in with this opportunity where they're about to face a 32nd ranked defense, if the Broncos won the coin toss and said, we want the ball and we're going to score, and they give up the opportunity, which almost every team that wins a coin toss defers to the second half, would that make you nervous? Would you be frustrated? Would you be like, hell yeah, because we're leaning into this offense needing to take advantage and capitalize on a spark opportunity against bad defense? Or is that just something we're going to come in and be like, there's another decision by Sean Payton that we all disagree with?
No, I'm going to say, okay, Sean, like, you're serious about this. You want to show Broncos country that you guys are ready to go offensively. It's going to show your defense that's like, hey, guys, like, sit there, relax. All right, this is going to be a long drive. We're going to find a way to put points on the board, and not just points, a touchdown. We're going to give you guys some kind of confidence when you run out on the football field and a reason why you should help us out. So I would love if Sean says, we're going to take the ball, and we're going to shove it down you know what. We're going to score a touchdown. Bo's going to do his part, but it's going to be a lot more balanced. That's what I want to see. And I believe we're going to see it because Sean has been listening to all of us complain about his offense and the screen game and why you're not giving JK the ball and why Bo Nix is struggling. So for Sean, it's like, I'm going to show you guys that we can run the ball, that we can utilize Bo, and that I am a good offensive coordinator. And so I won't be surprised, Richie, if he decides not to defer until the second half. He takes the ball, and they have a great drive because they want to show the world in Broncos country that they can hold their part of the bargain. Right? They can hold their own weight, and the defense doesn't have to always worry about them or bail them out.
I don't necessarily know how they would handle the coin toss in that situation when it comes up on Sunday afternoon.
I just told you, man.
But I do. You did. I do know this. If Sean Payton, as the leader of this team, as one of the forward-facing and most prominent members of this organization, and as the architect of this offense with his hand-picked quarterback in Bo Nix and all of the bells and whistles that George Payton in that front office helped him go out and get to bring in this offseason, including J.K. Dobbins, including R.J. Harvey, including his joker and Evan Ingram and the receivers and the like. If Sean Payton cannot find a way to commit to the run game with a degree of seriousness that means we're not just going to try it on plays 1, 2, and 3 because Phillip Lindsay said so. We're not just going to do it in the first quarter when it's not working and then bail. But we are going to commit hell or high water to controlling the trenches, winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and sustaining football drives, whether they come up with 3 points, 7 points, or frankly, no points, but they're not 3 and outs like this offense says. If he can't do it, against this Cowboys defense, which is literally,
tell him, Richie,
the worst defense in the National Football League through 2 months, and a bottom 3 defense against the run,
what's going to happen?
They may never commit to it the rest of the season. This is a literal, in my opinion, do or die. Well, it's not literally do or die because Alex Singleton reminded us nobody dies if the Broncos lose a football game, which I was very happy to have been reminded of that. This is a metaphorical do or die.
There you go, metaphorical
football game when it comes to the Broncos and their lack of commitment to running the football as a part of their offensive identity. Because if they don't do it now, Phil, I'm looking at the schedule right here, and I can't think of another game where I'll sit there and go, yeah, they're going to pound the rock against those guys. I just can't see it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Looking at this schedule, you have the Dallas Cowboys who have a horrible defense that's given up a ton of yards on the ground.
141 per game.
141 per game. I mean, if we can't get JK to 100 yards, what's going on? What's going on? And I know it's the NFL team. It's an NFL team. They're going to be ready to play. It's schemed up. It's never what it looks like. Sometimes you get in these games and you think it's easy, and it's like, yo, that's another guy out there fighting for his livelihood, fighting for his family. But for Sean, just obey your eyes. You have a great scheme when it comes to running, when it comes to getting JK downfield. I wish I could say RJ Harvey, but he's struggling. So I'm going to stick with just JK right now. Get JK downfield and give him his opportunity. He deserves to have his moment. Don't we all want to have a running back go for 1,000 yards? The last person to do that, I mean, man, he's sitting right here looking sexy. So let's get JK going so that he can get to 1,000 yards because he will easily if you give him 18 or 20 carries. And I'm going to say it again. Give him 20 carries in this game. He will go for 100 yards. He will score his touchdown, and we will win the game. Establish the run. Force this defense to add a guy in the box. Demoralize this team because you can. And help your defense out so your defense is sitting there relaxing.
All in the name of adding balance and dimension to the offense.
Balance.
Not allowing defenses to just sink back and make Bo Nix's life harder, trying to spread the ball around with Sean Payton's scheme to these different playmakers, which, especially when a defense has the opportunity to key off on it and you give them an advantage by being one-sided, that's how you end up with a bunch of bubble screens and a bunch of safe completions behind the line of scrimmage because it's the only way to reasonably...
Sean doesn't want to hear the bubble screens.
Yeah, well, he's going to...
He said they would work if they would just block.
Well, part of that, you know what? Part of that actually is true. I think there has been some execution errors from a blocking standpoint, whether it's wide receivers blocking, tight ends and things getting out in space trying to set it up. I actually do think that Sean Payton's lack of faith or his vanilla play calling, as we've observed it as times, is a result of the fact that I just don't know that he has full faith and confidence in the offense as a whole to go out there and execute the plays.
So now you're blaming the players.
Do players have to go out and make plays?
Players win games. Players make plays. But man, can we get at least a shot or two downfield?
Yeah,
can we at least hit the middle of the field once or twice in our lives?
Plenty of dirty hands to go around. Including Sean Payton's. But the good news is, because I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer like Drew Spivak, wherever he was at the start of the show, talking about, he's like, my mile high moment's going to be this, but the Broncos are going to lose anyway. I think the Denver Broncos are going to capitalize and take advantage of this opportunity to reaffirm their identity and run the football. And I feel that way because of something that you shared with me and pointed out that was written by our buddy Luca Evans at the Denver Post about something unique that the Broncos have done this past week that they have not done up to this point in the season. And it stems from the end of the Giants game after that miraculous comeback and Dre Greenlaw's argument with Brad Allen. They got together after all that euphoria and celebration and club dub and all that. And as an offensive unit, they went through a detailed film breakdown collectively as a team, in addition to their different positional responsibilities. And I think that is evidence of the fact that they are self-aware, Phil, that the way they've been winning games is not sustainable. We heard it from Jonathan Cooper. We heard it from Mike McGlinchey. And now, thanks to Luca Evans, we've heard it from Bo Nix, who said, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of winning and feeling like we're chasing. I'm tired of the inconsistency, and we've got to get better.
No, they're tired of being the side of the ball that nobody's praising. They're tired of the side of the ball that's not able to get into the club because they're not doing their part of the job. So they're ready to be a part of this team, hold their weight, and start putting up points, start sustaining drives. And I love it. I love that you have Bo Nix, who needs to be the leader. He's the leader of this team. You're the quarterback. But now he's saying, look, let's have a moment where we're in here together and we're going through this process and learning about this team and learning about our opponents together so that we can ask questions. So maybe I can question you guys. The reason why I say something like that, Richie, is Matt Ryan used to do that with us. A lot of the veteran quarterbacks will do that, where they'll pull the whole group, not just the quarterbacks and the running backs or the receivers, but the offensive line, the tight ends, the running backs, everybody together to go over this film. And then Matt Ryan would ask us questions. Phil, what would you have on this play if the safety is coming on the other side? He's coming down on a blitz. Who do you have? Then I'm having to explain to my quarterback who I have to protect him. So now he feels more confident that I'm going to do my job. And if he feels more confident that I'm going to do my job and pick up the blitz, or at least identify where the blitz is going, because sometimes it's hard for a little man like me to pick it up all the time. I'm going to cut your ass, but I may not be able to get the solid block all the time. It may force, or it may let Matt Ryan be a little bit more comfortable to stay in the box a little longer to make a throw, to step up in the pocket a little longer to make that throw. So I'm glad Bo Nix is kind of being that leader and saying, guys, let's get together. Let's do this as a team, as a unit. Let's ask questions. Let's get on the same page so we can do our part, sustain drives, and score some dang points.
You know what else I think it brings in addition to, awareness and confidence from a quarterback to a positional player or lineman?
Yeah.
I think it brings a healthy and welcomed added dose of accountability. I think it's easy to stand up at a podium or in the locker room after a game the way Jonathan Cooper did and Mike McGlinchey did and so many do week in and week out and say, hey, yeah, we've got to be better. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. That's being accountable to the media and to the fan base. But I think, and you would know better than anyone, certainly anyone at this table, about the difference between that and being accountable to each other, to being accountable to your fellow running backs, to your defense, to your quarterback, to your head coach. And that is what I feel like this article from Luka Evans in the Denver Post screams to me, is that this offense collectively has taken a look in the mirror, swallowed a little bit of pride, and said to each other, collectively, we all have to be better for one another. Because they did that extended film session that it sounds like you've done in the past with Matt Ryan. They did it after the Giants game. And then they looked around at each other and realized how much it helped for all the same reasons that you laid out. And Bo Nix said, according to Luke Evans of the Denver Post, F it, let's do it again and again and again. And they have done that throughout the course of this preparation week for the Dallas Cowboys, something that they hadn't done up to this point. And I think that Bo Nix standing up in that moment and being a leader for his offense as a unit and by extension his team, Sean Payton's aware of that. And Sean loves his cue.
I love my cue.
I love my cue. And I think that if there's anyone who can get inside the twisted, complicated fortress that is Sean Payton's brain and force and encourage some kind of change from the norm. Because history would say everything that we're talking about, embracing it, changing it, lightening up the playbook, committing to the run, that we're not going to see that. Because Sean's going to run his offense and everybody else be damned because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But if there was one person not named Greg Penner who rules over everything that could change that within Sean Payton, it's Bo Nix.
I love it, Richie.
And I feel like he has made a step in that direction this week.
I love it, man. Look at you growing up. Truly, I didn't think about it. It's like, yeah, this is Bo Nix's team.
Yeah.
The only guy that's probably in that building that can sit and talk with Sean and be vulnerable, but also be honest with him about certain things. Maybe it's not just about talking to Sean about him. Maybe it's like, hey, these are what my teammates are telling me, and I'm relaying the message to you. But, Coach, if we're going to do well this year, or if we're going to have a chance to make a run in the playoffs, we have to establish our identity. We have to establish the run. We have to come together and understand what we need to do in the pass game. But it comes from Bo Nix taking on that leadership, going to Sean, and them getting on that same page so that they can have a successful offense when it comes to Dallas this week, which I'm excited to watch, man. Good job, Richie.
We are inching closer. We are inching closer to the NFL's trade deadline. And there's some interesting whispers about the Denver Broncos and a certain position group that they may be in the buyer's market for, especially if this game this weekend doesn't go the way that they plan. We'll dissect some of those rumors coming up next.
Will Sean Payton mix more tempo into his offense? Can Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper slow down Dak Prescott? We'll react to it all in the Fan Football Postgame Show. Live on game day starting at the 2-minute warning. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, Broncos country? We're in the thick of football season. So you know summer is officially over. And this means it's all about the game days. So whether you're heading to Empower Field or traveling to Boulder to cheer on Coach Prime and the Buffs, you know you need to get there on time and in style. And speaking of going to the Broncos games, you can get up to 30% off of your ride to the game with Hermes Worldwide for the entire season. All I need you to do is mention the code PL30. Again, mention that code PL30 when you book your luxury transportation to Empower Field. So what I'm trying to tell you is let my friends at Hermes Worldwide handle all the traffic and parking hassles. Let them get you to and from the game safely so you can focus on the important stuff, like watching your favorite team stack those wins and making as many memories as possible with your loved one and friends. So give Hermes Worldwide a call today at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports. Again, you can give them a call at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports to book your next ride today.
Winning matters. Postman Law has recovered over $3 billion for clients. Injured? Call 844-POSTMAN. It's free to see if you have a case. Others promise. Postman delivers.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity, and the other day I'm over at a friend's place. He's pumped to watch football, but his setup, total mess. Lagging, buffering, switching between apps, trying to find a game. He claimed to be a big fan, but I feel like I was being fan-fished. See, if you call yourself a football fan, you gotta have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. And the way I watch, well, it's next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, so clear it feels like I'm in the stadium. Sometimes I've got 4 games going on at once. Why? Because why not? On top of that, I get real-time notifications, live stats right on my TV. It's the best seat in the house every single time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K cable TV box.
Join Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and Athletic at Mile High Station on Sunday, October 26th from noon to 2:25 p.m. for the Fan Football Pregame Show. Get your head in the game and enjoy orange and blue face painting and ice-cold Athletic. Athletic, all in, all game.
Thinking about buying a home in Colorado? You're not the only one, and now might be your best shot. We're officially in a buyer's market, which means you've got the upper hand. More homes are on the market, competition is down, and serious deals are out there just waiting to be found. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to upgrade or downsize, now's the time to get pre-approved. And American Financing can make that happen in 24 hours or less. And here's the kicker. When you work with both American Financing and their partner American Home Agents, you can receive a credit on closing costs of up to 1% or a max of $10,000 on your home loan. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, it's time to step in, and American Financing is the place to start. Don't let the 20% down myth stop you. You could buy a home with as little as 3% down, and with down payment assistance programs available, getting into a home might be easier than you think. Pick up the phone, call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades.
But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Your roof's the single most important part of your house. Snow and high winds can damage your roof. Don't trust your roof to any fly-by-night roofing companies. Call the professionals at Golden Spike for a free roof inspection and tell them you heard about it on The Fan. They're a locally owned company and a Team Dave Logan member.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix. 303-942-1386. Golden Spike Roofing.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name. And the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer. I have a true treadmill at home. It's the smoothest and quietest I've ever been on.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Rolling downhill on a Friday afternoon. Couple of segments left here. Richie Carney sitting in for Zach By alongside Phillip Lindsay. Here to tell you that the Fan Flyaway is back. Thanks to our friend Dan Jacobs in 303 Law 4040. This time we're sending one lucky listener and a guest to Phoenix this coming February, for the biggest party in golf. Here's what you get. 2 tickets to Saturday's round at TPC Scottsdale, round-trip airfare for 2 from Denver, 2 nights hotel stay, and $500 in spending money. For more information and to register, head to thefanflyaway.com. And remember, if you've entered one of our previous Flyaway contests, you're already registered for this one. Once you sign up for one Flyaway, you're automatically entered for all future Flyaways. Phil, we are coming up sooner rather than later on the NFL's trade deadline. And for the first time in what feels like forever, we are in a situation where the Broncos, sitting at 5-2 atop the AFC West, are buyers potentially in that situation rather than sellers. They have everything in front of them to play for, and they have roster needs, specifically one on the offensive side of the ball that's gaining a little bit of buzz and traction around the league, and that is the wide receiver position. What would you think about the Denver Broncos being in the buyer's market for a wide receiver in the next couple of weeks?
You know, I've talked about this with Zach By multiple times. I believe that Zach wants to have a running back, which is understandable to go with J.K. Dobbins.
He wanted to trade for Breece Hall, right?
Breece Hall.
Yeah.
You know, which is like, yeah, if something happens to J.K., we need another running back that can go in there and do his job.
And historically speaking, that has been what's happened in J.K. Dobbins' career. Knock on all the wood if you're in your car.
Knock on your head.
Find something, knock on your head, because J.K.'s been healthy, and he's been available, and he's been great in his capacity so far. But if you're acknowledging history, that is something that's held J.K. back.
Yeah. I was on the other side of it, where it's like, if we're going to acquire for another player, another weapon, it needs to be a receiver, somebody that can help Cortland Sutton out, our receiver one, take pressure off of him. And the reason why I say that is, if something happens to Court, though, then what? Who do you rely on? Marvin Mims is not consistent enough right now. He's more of that baby joker. You put him all around the field. Now, he can still take the top off if you give him that opportunity, but just the consistency is not there. Troy Franklin's another one. Can you trust him? Has he done enough to be a guy that can fill in if something happens to Cortland for a couple games? The answer is no. So you go out there and you get another receiver that you truly can believe in as a receiver 2, maybe even borderline a receiver 1, and now look what you have to work with. Now for Bo Nix, it's like there are no excuses. You have a tight end. You would have 2 receivers. You would have Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims, so the weapons are still there. You still have the run game. So if you are going to go out there and acquire any type of position, you are going to go and get another receiver to help this offense out. And if you think that this team can win it all, you're going to do that. And I'm okay with it. Go out there and give Bo Nix more weapons, because there's a lot of people out there that still don't believe Bo Nix is a franchise quarterback. Well, if Bo Nix gets another big-time weapon and he still can't make this offense run smoothly, then yes, we can have those conversations of what's Bo Nix doing. But give him more opportunities by having a true, consistent receiver out there that you can count on every Sunday.
Isn't it funny? Because that is not the tone of the conversation that we were having leading into this NFL regular season, where we saw George Payton and Sean Payton go out there and draft Pat Bryant. They bring in Evan Ingham in free agency. They revamp the running back room with JK and RJ. The conversation was not, especially when you factor in paying Cortland Sutton and continued development from Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin. The conversation was not, boy, Bo Nix has a pretty bare cupboard, right? He doesn't have a lot to work with. And now, 2 months or so into the NFL season, we're having legitimate conversations of, are we sure that Bo Nix has the tools around him to utilize and fairly evaluate whether or not he can be a franchise quarterback? It's kind of shifted a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but you have to, we always say obey your eyes for Sean in the run game, but like look at what you have right now if you're Sean. Say that, hey, it's okay if you make mistakes. You gave Vele up. Now, yeah, Vele's not doing well with the Saints, but it's the Saints. But you gave Vele up because you felt like this room was deep. I never understood why you would give Vele up when you don't know what you have in Pat Bryant yet. Mm-hmm. You always want to have more weapons. The more the merrier, correct?
Yep.
So for Sean, it's like, correct it. Go out there and find a receiver that you can count on until Troy Franklin can be the receiver 2 for you, until Marvin Mims can emerge as a receiver 2 if that's who you think can do it. Richie, do you want them to go out there and get a receiver?
I'd be okay with it because, Phil, you look around the league, and with some of the teams that are dwelling near the bottom, there is talent at the wide receiver position that could potentially be made available. You look at the Saints, who have Devon Vele, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people point back to the Devon Vele trade and be like, well, Devon Vele's not doing anything in New Orleans, so what did the Broncos really give up? But I don't think that's a genuine evaluation of the situation, because we talk about fit, right? That's the dirty word in the NFL. Devon Vele was fitting here with the Broncos. At times last season as a 7th-round draft pick, certainly in training camp, but in the regular season, he looked like one of the better wide receivers on the roster opposite and excluding Cortland Sutton. He was kind of profiling from a body and a physical standpoint to a playmaking ability standpoint.
He got banged up. He was just
to be a
banged
wide
up.
receiver too, and he got a little banged up in the training camp and into the preseason, and things went the way they went. But I don't take Devon Vele not performing well in New Orleans, which is a dumpster fire right now, and they're making things work or trying to with Spencer Rattler, as an indication that he's like some tanking, declining wide receiver.
It's literally impossible.
I agree.
It's impossible.
Zach, I get it.
Don't worry. He can't be that guy. You got me yelling now.
That's my favorite one.
Zach, right there.
You got me yelling now.
Zach. He's a dramatic one, ain't
he? His ceiling is established.
I love those so much. But you look around the league, Phil, you got Chris Olave with the New Orleans Saints, right? Damn good wide receiver. He's had a lot of concussions. He's had some injury issues in that front. But when healthy, damn good wide receiver. How about the Miami Dolphins, who are just crumbling at the foundation?
Give me Waddle. I've been saying that. Give me Waddle.
You got Garrett Wilson on a struggling, searching for a win Jets team. Calvin Ridley with the Titans, right? There are names out there on bottom basement dweller teams in the NFL that for a buyer like the Broncos, if they want to be one, a deal could potentially be made. Now, you might not like the compensation that comes with that.
Richie, I don't care about the compensation. I don't care about giving up draft picks as of right now. If you truly think you can go and win it all, like Sean has said through the microphones, then you do what you have to do. Sean isn't the general manager. He's the head coach. He's in the trenches. He should want what's best for this team in the now. So if that means giving up a 3rd-round draft pick or a 4th-round draft pick to get a receiver in here that can help contribute right away, then that's exactly what we need to do. We have to win these games. And yes, we're winning. We're 5-2. but it's the way we're winning that I don't like. I want the offense to flourish. I want the offense to be the reason why we come in here and say, hey, they won us the game. I want Bo Nix to be the reason why we win these games moving forward with his arm and his legs combined. And maybe that is going out there and adding another weapon.
Well, we're not going to have to wait terribly long to find out because the trade deadline is fast approaching. Conversations and phone calls, I'm sure, with George Payton and his team behind the scenes are being made. And if the Broncos are going to be buyers, I think the smoke that might be coming from that direction will lead to fire sooner rather than later. All right, coming up next, we have a full slate of sports action with our local teams here in town. We will run through our predictions on a busy weekend coming up next.
The Broncos will look to add a little more mile-high magic against Dallas. Kick your football Sunday off in style with Denver Game Day, powered by Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Live on Game Day starting at 10 a.m. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Announcing Williams Jewelers Annual Antique and Vintage Jewelry Trunk Show, October 23rd through 25th.
Come shop millions in estate, antique, pre-owned jewelry, and diamond rings that are precious, rare, and truly collectible.
Art Deco and Art Nouveau pieces, including signed Cartier, Van Cleef, Tiffany, David Webb, and many, many more.
If you're a jewelry collector, you don't want to miss it.
Many of these fine crafted treasures could not be duplicated today. Most are handcrafted and one of a kind.
Williams Jewelers Annual Antique and Vintage Jewelry Trunk Show. 3 big days only, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, October 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
You can't miss us. We're on the corner of Bellevue and Broadway in beautiful Inglewood.
Williams Jewelers Antique and Vintage Jewelry Trunk Show.
It's Denver's estate jewelry event of the year.
Don't miss it.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, on the corner of Bellevue and Broadway, where Colorado shines.
This is Jeff for Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg. I've been a patient of Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic for over 10 years. I noticed that I was really tired. I was lethargic. I didn't sleep really well, and I was overweight. My waist was 4 inches over what it should have been. It was really difficult for me to lose the body shape I didn't like. And of course, my marriage, yes. No man in their 40s wants to have low libido in their marriage. I'm really thankful for this therapy because it just makes me feel the man I want to be. Active, at home, everywhere. If you're feeling like I was, call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today and get checked. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Thanks, Greg. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Peyton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Dan Jacobs with Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040. Did you know that I actually have some psychic abilities? Yep, had a new client come in the other day to get signed up, and she said, Dan, you know, they've already made me an offer. And I said, well, let me guess. It was $1,500. And her eyes got real big, and she said, Dan, how'd you know that? And I said, let me take another guess. when you said you weren't sure, they said, okay, we'll offer you the maximum amount allowed of like $3,500. The client couldn't believe what she was hearing. But let me let you know in a little secret. I'm not a psychic. I just know all of the insurance companies' dirty little tricks. They use these tricks to put pressure on you so they can get off the hook cheap. At 303 Law 4040, we're here to make sure that they play fair. We're going to make sure you get feeling better and the insurance companies pay what's right. Call us at any time. You can speak directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
Hey guys, it's Zach By here for 5280 Exteriors. Right now, they've got a great deal on windows, so take advantage before the snow starts falling. Order your windows in October, finance your project with them, and you won't pay anything until November of 2027. Be warm during the holidays. Don't wait to upgrade your home. Order windows or siding from 5280 Exteriors before the cold weather arrives. Call 5280 Exteriors now and see how low your monthly payment can go. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
Tune into Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
The Denver Broncos are looking to go the distance again this weekend against the Dallas Cowboys. We will get to our game predictions for Sunday at Empower Field at Mile High coming up in a little bit. But we've got a packed weekend of Colorado sports here in town, collegiately, in the NBA, in the NHL, and obviously our Denver Broncos. So, Phil, let's run through some predictions of the upcoming slate of games for our teams in town here. You've got tomorrow afternoon, the Colorado Avalanche, fresh off of another extra time shootout loss against the Carolina Hurricanes / Hartford Whalers.
Got the point, though. Got the point.
Salvaged the point. Still have not lost in regulation up against the Boston Bruins on the road in Beantown. What's your vibe on that game?
Yeah, I mean, look, we dominated Boston the last time we played them. Now it's going to be different. You're on the road. The thing about the Avalanche is they had the firepower. They had the depth. Their first line is doing a great job. Marty Netjes is playing unbelievable. Pay that man. Pay him. But I'm a little nervous going into this game on the road. One, it's one of these games where you haven't won in regulation. So at some point, something has to give. Two, the reason why you may end up losing a game like this is your power play has not been good.
Crazy.
You were 1 for 8 on the power play against North Carolina or Carolina. What does that look like against the Boston Bruins? Things have to shape up for you. You have to start improving in that one. And I know that they promoted Val. Val was up at the first power play unit, was able to get the goal. That was great to see. But can we start to be more consistent with this power play unit?
I think they can. I can't explain why it has unfolded the way that it has. It defies logic and science to me that a team that scores the puck and specifically shoots and handles the puck as well as the Colorado Avalanche do and have for years as a part of their identity has all of that disappear when they suddenly are in the position where they have a man advantage and it all goes away. Whether they're getting too cute with it and trying to go too much tic-tac-toe, tape to tape, instead of just focusing on putting shots on net and putting that pressure and keeping it in the offensive zone. Because, Phil, they're barely getting, more than 1 or 2 shot attempts off during any given power play period over the course of the season.
Just shoot.
Yeah. Now, they've got to be quality shots, and you obviously want to keep things in that high-danger area. But I think when you've got the talent and the offensive firepower that you referenced, sometimes you don't have to overthink it. Just put the puck on the net, keep it in the possession of your skilled and talented skaters, and let them do their thing. Boston's on a 6-game skid here. They are struggling. They are under 500 at home. You mentioned they dominated them 4-1, outshot them 38-14 last time they played. Boston does not play well at home so far in this season. Colorado hasn't lost in regulation on the road. I think this one's pretty easy. Avs get a bounce-back game between the pipes, get back on track, and continue their hot start to the season.
So you're saying Wedgie's going to be starting between the pipes?
Even
this
if
game
it's
right here?
even if it's Trent Miner who took it in relief, and,
Yeah.
and Mackenzie Blackwood did not travel with the team for this upcoming road trip, which means that Trent Miner's going to get a game, whether it'll be this upcoming game, and you don't want to have to technically start Wedgie back-to-back, even though you pulled him 10, 12 minutes in. We will see who goes between the pipes, but regardless, I think you get a better performance than 4 goals and 7 shots.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think Wedgie is going to be in between the pipes. I think he's going to have a bounce-back game. It's one of these games where it's like, hey, show the world that you're okay. You're going to have bad games. We all know that. The people in front of Wedgwood need to play a little bit better, as you know, and if that happens, we should be able to beat the Bruins.
Nuggets are taking on the Phoenix Suns. Dante Gomez's Phoenix Suns. 2 different, probably long-term projections for each team involved in this matchup. Phillip Lindsay, what is your vibe on Phoenix and Denver?
Yeah, Denver's going to get right. This is their time. Their time is now. They kind of blew that game. There was a major meltdown in overtime. That's not going to happen again. David Adelman is going to coach his butt off. And for Jokic is really going to get going this game. I can see Jokic having 30 points. Jamal Murray looked really, really good against the Warriors. Can he continue this? Have a fast start? I believe he will. And AG, for some odd reason, he's just on fire. From last year to now, he still has that confidence, and it's oozing within that body of his. He's going to continue to do his part. So I have the Nuggets beating the Suns.
I do too. I think that it's not going to come at the hands of a 50 burger from Aaron Gordon. I think you're going to see a better statistical performance from Nikola Jokic. He was pretty dreadful from beyond the arc. He had a couple of bad bounces off the back iron that just didn't go his way late in the game that could have prevented that game from going to overtime and stopped the bleeding that was caused by Steph Curry just taking control in the final minutes of that game. And I think you're going to start to see a little bit more of an uptick in the production and the usage of these new pieces that made their debuts last night. It's not going to happen or turn on right away for a guy like Cam Johnson coming over from Brooklyn, being kind of baptized in this Nikola Jokic style of offense that so many others in the lineup are used to at this point, which you pointed out. I think you're going to probably get a little bit of a better offensive output from a guy like Christian Brown.
Yep.
I think that Jamal Murray, who is clearly looking hungry and motivated and kind of hunting those big shots, especially late in the game, that we've come so accustomed to seeing him. I think this will be an opportunity against the Suns team that does not have Jalen Green, who they acquired in the trade with the Houston Rockets for Kevin Durant. They did have a comeback against the Sacramento Kings, little division rivalry there. But I would imagine this game's going to be about a 10-point swing in favor of the Nuggets, and I would expect them to win and cover in that situation. I think it'll be smooth sailing against Phoenix.
Let's go.
In the world of college football, the Buffs are off the bye, Phillip Lindsay. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Utah Utes at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. And this is an important win, I think, in terms of the turning point in the direction their season can go. And I think it's a significant test that they have remaining on their schedule. How you feeling about your Buffs?
Dante, do we know yet if the quarterback's playing, the starting quarterback playing for
Devin
the Utes?
Dampier.
Yeah.
I haven't looked for an update, but I'll look for one now.
If that is the case and Devin Dampier is not playing, that's a great green light for the Buffs. I think the Buffs are going in with a bunch of confidence. Although there's a bunch of players it seems like are still not healthy, you still have your starting quarterback. You're getting a weapon back. You have 2 receivers that can get open. And so with that being said, it's going to be tough to beat the Utes on the road. But I have confidence. I have confidence in my Buffs. Buffs upset the Utes, man.
I hope so. I hope you're right, because I think you're wrong. I think regardless of whether Devin Dampier plays or it's Bird Ficklin, both quarterbacks can run the football. CU has struggled against that. They're 2 touchdown dogs, roughly, in this game. I think they keep it close, but ultimately I think Utah wins at home. Quickly on the way out here, Phillip Lindsay, Broncos and Cowboys.
Yeah, for the Denver Broncos, they've been getting away with it. The fourth quarter miracles, that has to stop. You're going up against a Dallas offense that's number 1 in total points. They have all their weapons. Javonte Williams is doing a great job. He's number 2 in rushing. This is one of these tough games. I think that the Denver Broncos are going to give up a fight. They're going to put up a big time fight. Dallas finds a way to win this one on our home turf, man. I'm sorry to say that, but Dallas wins 35-30.
Wow, okay. The Broncos offense, in my opinion, is not going to get to 30 points. I think the Dallas Cowboys do win. They have a high-octane offense, and this offense has not shown a sustainable ability to keep their defense out of bad situations. Cowboys win by 10.
Right.
All right.
Right.
For Dante Gomez, for Phillip Lindsay, I am Richie Carney sitting in for Zach Bai. You have Mike Rice and Denver Sports Tonight coming your way next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money, all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
What is up, guys? Phillip Lindsay here, and I want to tell you about my new obsession. Yes, I have an obsession, and it's with Daisy's French Onion Dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching any big-time game. And now that Daisy's has come out with a delicious Daisy French Onion Dip, along with a Daisy Ranch Dip, guys, these are definitely game changers that you're not going to want to miss out on. They're as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients that you can find in your own kitchen. So if you want to be blown away like I was, then you need to give Daisy's French Onion Dip a try today. You can find Daisy's French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Are joint pain or injuries keeping you from living your best life? I'm Dr. Joel Cherdak with Denver Regenerative Medicine. We don't believe in one size fits all. Instead, we create personalized stem cell treatment plans using your own stem cells or donor cells to help regenerate joints, repair torn muscles and ligaments, and restore mobility. For a limited time, get 10% off through October. Don't wait. Book your free consultation now at denverregen.com. That's denverregen.com.
At Berg Simpson, we are passionate about what we do. We bring that passion and our expertise